foul throw. And so Vasalko will be allowed to take the throw instead. Fernandez flicking it forward, or did the referee say that the actually was an Atletico throw? I think I said it wasn't a foul throw, but it was an Atletico throw in the first place. Vasalko taking it, he's launched it long, straight down the touchline over Joao Felix's head, and Harry Maguire can shepherd it over the line and out of play for a goal kick. But we're 19 minutes in. What do Manchester United do to try and get some balance back into this game? Because they've been second best so far.
Well, I think the key is not to concede another one. That is got to be a priority, and the more expansive they play as a team, the more, you might say, plays into Atletico's hands. That is the opportunity. And feeding Fernandez, he really is a sensational talent, but he's finding it very difficult in the area that he likes to drop in, getting in between sort of the defensive back line and the midfield. That shape is very condensed, and obviously the way Atletico play, that he'll have to work hard to find space and free himself up.
Free kick to Manchester United on halfway. They trail by a goal to nil. Liverpool 3 up now in their match at home to Leeds. It's another penalty from Salah. 3 up inside, 35 minutes or so. You just wonder how many that might end up being. Liverpool leading by 3 goals to nil.
I think with that Liverpool game, I think a lot might have been taken out of Leeds at the weekend with the intensity of that derby match against Manchester.
It's Man United in possession now. Pogba working it forward. If it stays that way, and Liverpool will be within 3 points of leaders Manchester City. Tonight is their game in hand. Here's Correa. Sancho has done really well, covered an awful lot of ground to work back and intercept a ball that was intended for Renan Lodi. And Luke Shaw has the opportunity to bring it forward up the left-hand touchline now for Manchester United. Tomorrow night we've got 2 live games from Europe. Celtic away to Bodo Glimt, 3-1 down from the first leg. Rangers 4-2 up from the first leg. Take on Dortmund at Ibrox. We've got both of those games for you on TalkSport 2, kicking off at 7:45 and 8 o'clock respectively. And our exclusive offering from the Premier League tomorrow night is Arsenal against Wolves, with Dean Ashton alongside Sam Matterface. 7:45 kickoff tomorrow night over on TalkSport. This is Bruno Fernandes in possession, and he's played it back for Lindelof. Lindelof to Varane. Varane will bring it through the centre circle and just play it out towards the left-hand touchline for Luke Shaw. Shaw controlling it, laying it back again. Maguire forward towards Pogba. There's no great tempo about Manchester United's play at the moment.
I think the frustration, as you can see there, because Atletico get in a really good shape. I've just seen Fernandes coming back into a right-back position to get a touch of the ball and get on it, and Ronaldo as well dropping back deep, and that will probably please Atletico in many ways, getting players of that ability dropping deep to get a touch of the ball.
So far, Manchester United have had 60% of the possession, but so much of it has been inside their own half without duress. Not able to play too many incisive passes, just the one off-target shot so far, that Bruno Fernandes effort, which deflected wide. Chance for Atletico to bring it forward again with the goal scorer Joao Felix. Out to Vasalko, right-footed ball far inside the area from Llorente, and Lindelof, knowing that Renan Lodi was coming in at the far post, heads it away. And out of play for a corner, but I think the flag was up, and it's going to be a free kick for offside to Manchester United. We're midway through the first half. United yet to get going, and they trail by a goal.
Yeah, we seem to have a game which develops a pattern now where United is more of a slower build-up, if you like, and then all of a sudden Atletico turn the ball over and get a sort of half-effort at goal, if you like, just showing a little bit more cutting edge and a little bit more of a forward pass in many ways.
Renan Lodi wins the throw. It's come off Rashford. United still beat just the once under Ralph Rangnick so far, which was that home defeat to Wolves. They won their group in the Champions League for only the second time since the 2013-14 season. The last time they got to this stage of the competition, they did win their tie. They beat PSG with a fantastic away performance, you'll remember. Rashford, who was instrumental in that, chases forward here. Stefan Savic slides in and has conceded the corner. Another opportunity for Manchester United to load the penalty area and see what happens.
I've got to say, Rashford darting down the line, just entering the box, and Savage has come across, and you can't get those tackles wrong, otherwise it's a penalty.
Ball played inside the penalty area from the corner. It's swept away easily at the near post by the Atletico Madrid back line. Shaw is finding himself on the right-hand side of the back four for a moment. Just plays the pass through the midfield towards Maguire. Lindelof back for Shaw again. Space on the Manchester United right for Bruno Fernandes. Varane will play it back to him after looking for a more proactive ball forward. Fernandes just dropping back into that right back position again, as Stuart was detailing a few moments ago. Now he's working through the midfield towards Fred, who waited for Correa to commit himself and then played it back for Lindelof. Now to Bruno Fernandes on halfway. Crossfield pass from him goes out towards Luke Shaw. 24 minutes in, Manchester United yet to trouble Jan Oblak at all, trailing to that flying header from Joao Felix on 7 minutes. But a long way to go in a two-legged tie when you've only played 25 minutes of the first leg. Varane, Maguire to Fred. Fred put under pressure. Kondogbia has won it back, but unfairly he's fouled him. And it's a free kick to Manchester United. Atletico not happy with that at all. They think it was a legitimate challenge. They would have been in a great position had play been allowed to develop from there.
My first viewing of it was I thought it was a fantastic challenge. Fred just a bit loose. Oh, I tell you what, that was a very, very good challenge. He's nicked the ball away. Fred's kicked the bottom of his foot, gone down, and as is often the case, the one who falls over on the floor gets the free kick. And really, really good press there from Atletico. Fernandes
to Lindelof, back for Bruno Fernandes again. Sebastian Haller, the leading scorer in the Champions League this season, has scored again, but it's an own goal. Benfica 1, Ajax 1. Benfica's equaliser coming from the former West Ham United striker. Sancho chasing down the right-hand side, and that's deflected behind and goes out of play for a goal kick.
I think when you're on a good goal-scoring run, it doesn't matter which goal they come in.
You tell him that. It doesn't count. It's not number 29 for him. Simeone chuntering away in his customary Johnny Cash garb. Man in black on the edge of the technical area. A player who has, a manager, who's had so much success, led Atletico to a couple of league titles, 2 Champions League finals. He's won a couple of Europa Leagues as well. But he has seen his side lose their way defensively over the course of this season. Conceded 34 goals in 25 games last season. They only conceded 25 in the entire campaign in which they won the league. Conceding on average more than twice as many goals per game as they did over the last campaign, and that's seen as a result of that, the fact that they've lost 8 of their last 17 games in the league and Europe, having lost only 9 of the previous 60. But we welcome listeners to TalkSport with the news that Atletico Madrid are very good value for a 1-0 lead, given to them by a flying Joao Felix diving header after a sublime cross from Renan Lodi on 7 minutes. Stuart Pearce is alongside me, and Manchester United just haven't got going tonight.
No, they haven't at the moment. I can't look through the Manchester United ranks and tell you who's played very well. I think 1 or 2 have played okay, but nothing special at the moment.
Here's Correa inside the penalty area, back for Renan Lodi, whose delivery is met on the turn by Joao Felix, but he's volleyed it way over the bar. It was some goal that he scored 20 minutes ago.
Oh, it's a wonderful goal. Wonderful crossing. And that's something that Atletico have done really well in this game. They've not turned the opportunity down to put the ball in the box. Whilst they're not the biggest of strike forces, the movement's very good, and the quality of cross in the main's been pretty good.
So far, all the possession has been with Manchester United, or a lot of it. They've had 2/3 of the ball. It's Atletico that have had a succession of half chances, with Manchester United's only side of goal being a Bruno Fernandes effort that deflected wide. But Atletico have been on top, and when they've had possession, it's been much more purposeful than that Manchester United have had. They're on the ball now on the right-hand touchline, but Llorente, that is fullback for Salco, just at cross purposes, and the ball goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Manchester United left. Well, our live commentary of this game continues with Stuart and myself on TalkSport 2. It's Atletico Madrid 1, Manchester United 0. And a free kick is given United's way as the boot was raised towards Paul Pogba. And Llorente argues the decision with the Romanian referee, who's been able to keep his cards in his pocket so far. 29 gone, 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. In the Championship, QPR down to 10 men. Dion Sanderson has been sent off in their match at home to Blackpool, but QPR still lead it by a goal to nil as they look for their first win in 6 games. In the Premier League, Liverpool 3 up at home to Leeds, Watford 1, Palace 2, and Burnley 0, Spurs 0 at half-time in the live commentary game, which will resume over on TalkSport in a few minutes' time. Ronaldo getting the boos and the whistles as he drops short to receive the ball. A man who scored 4 career hat-tricks against Atletico Madrid. Always the man for the big occasion. Ronaldo just playing it forward down the right-hand touchline now. A player who invariably has been the leading scorer in the Champions League campaigns. To his credit, this season he scored in every Champions League tie in which he's played. But so too Sebastian Haller, who's now continued his run. And having scored an own goal, he scored one at the right end. His 29th goal of the season. It's Benfica 1, Ajax 2.
Tell you what, Fred was caught earlier in possession, miscontrolled it, and was fortunate to get a free kick. I think it was Varane on that occasion. Just looking at the replay on that, I'll tell you what, he's given a free kick for that, and I don't think that's a free kick, and he's left the back pass slightly short, and De Gea's had to come out and clear up his mess.
Yeah, it was Correa that was putting the pressure on, and when they do press with intensity, Manchester United are struggling to deal with it. Now Varane will come across, and he cleared it left-footed straight into Llorente, but it's bounced harmlessly wide into the hoardings. Now Varane, just oblivious to the fact that De Gea was going to take a quick goal kick. He spotted the ball down, he tapped it 2 yards to his right, and Varane walked away from it, not expecting that. They got it away, but then Atletico were in the next phase of play and then win a free kick about a yard to the left-hand side of the penalty area. And at times, although they've largely got away with it, Manchester United have been shambolic at the back.
Yeah, really, really loose there. Goalkeepers took a goal kick to Varane, who wasn't looking, so he's had to play catch-up chasing the ball, Varane. Then he's given the ball away outside the box, and then he's chasing back into his own box, trying to retrieve the situation. And very fortunate the challenge was made outside the box. It's probably about maybe 1.5 foot outside the box on the left-hand side, and they've got a real opportunity here, especially we've seen the quality of their crossing already, which has led to the goal here. I think Herrera's going to be looking to shoot, I think
that's what David De Gea is expecting. Herrera wearing 16, standing over the ball. The Renan Lodi is there, possibly as disguise, but maybe as the viable option to swing a left-footed away swinger inside the penalty area. Simeone trying to get the instructions across in the edge of the technical area. He's not happy with how many players have been left back. He wants another player to come back. He's trying to make that point the most animated way imaginable, and they haven't got the message across. Plenty of red and white shirts inside that penalty area. Manchester United with just about everybody back. It is Renan Lodi, he clips it in left-footed. It's easily headed away by Ronaldo. United will push out. It's one back by Ronaldo, but it was a poor touch from him. And now Ronaldo will try and bring it forward here for Manchester United. He's played it, but was offside. And it's a free kick to Atletico, about 10 yards inside their own half. That was a good chance for the counter-attack, but nothing came of it.
I've seen 3 or 4 free kicks being given just by the virtue of someone fell over on the floor. On this occasion, I'm not seeing a free kick there, and they got very fortunate there, Atletico. I think they've turned a real opportunity down earlier there. A great opportunity for a right footer to whip one in on the goal. They've decided to chip it left-footed outswing. Nothing come of it.
Yeah, that was Ronaldo on Reinildo. The Manchester United striker judged to have fouled the Atletico Madrid left-back, who actually fell over the ball, was losing his balance. And it's hard to see any contact at all from the Portuguese striker on him. If it was, certainly not enough for a free kick to be given. Manchester United probably got away with one at the other end earlier. Fred on Kondogbia evened itself up. Here's Savic. Now to the aforementioned Kondogbia in the heart of the midfield, who has it again now. Play back by him to Herrera. The Mexican sweeps it forward left-footed. Lindelof saw it drift over his shoulder. Renan Lodi shooting in towards the near post. De Gea had it covered as the ball whips into the side netting and out of play for a goal kick. But Manchester United at 6s and 7s at times trail by a goal to nil.
Yeah, great switch of play to Lodi over here in this left-back position. Very, very advanced. Lindelof probably far too deep, actually. Taken back. The rest of his defensive line were probably 7-8 metres further up the pitch. He was playing, obviously, Lodi on, and then an opportunity. But United have been their own worst enemies. They've given the ball away cheaply in the far corner there, trying to play out 8-9 passes in their own corner flag, eventually giving it away. And once again, Varane really loose with his passing.
Yeah, Varane, the man that brings the calmness and the experience into this Manchester United team, but has not been at his best tonight so far at all. Kondogbia working it forward. Renan Lodi, left-footed, flicked into the other left-back, Shaw. And then Ronaldo very deep has won a free kick, but he was still about 20 yards inside his own half. He gets back to his feet, and there's the usual frustration from him. Eyes out on stalks, remonstrating with the referee. And it was a cynical one from Herrera, who barged him over. But Ronaldo looks as though he's letting them get to him a little bit at the moment.
Well, a little bit of frustration there, trying to work the referee as well, Ronaldo, I think, make sure that the referee gets on his side and puts the Atletico players on the back foot with yellow cards, but on that occasion it wasn't forthcoming.
Has won 2 Champions League finals against Atletico. Amongst those that he's won, 5 in all for him. The winner of this competition in 2008. 2014, scored in both of those finals. 2016 when he didn't. 2017 when he got a couple, and then 2018 as well. 6 goals in his 5 Champions League ties this season, the competition's all-time leading goal scorer. But not a sniff of a chance for him tonight. Atletico leading Manchester United by a goal to nil on Talk Sport 2. The ball is with Victor Lindelof in the midfield. He's played it back for Fred. Fred out to the left-hand side for Harry Maguire, who can venture forward for the first time. Haven't seen any of the Manchester United centre-halves get forward up to this point. Rashford, just on the left for the moment, back towards Pogba. Pogba into the feet of Bruno Fernandes. Now it comes down towards Ronaldo. Ronaldo having a pot shot from goal, about 25, 26 yards out. He's dragged it well wide. Out of play for a goal kick, and United still trail 1-0.
Yeah, probably the first and only shot I can remember from United at the moment. Probably a deflected Fernandes effort early on that went for a corner, but in the main, Atletico have had the best of both worlds. They've defended fairly deep, they've counter-attacked, and when they have pressed high up the pitch, they've managed to turn the ball over in some dangerous areas.
Jan Oblak with a rare touch, taking a goal kick, swung out towards the far side. Vasalco heading it on. It's cannoned off Shaw, goes out of play for a throw. I think back 30 years ago when Manchester United were the defending European Cup winners, cup holders, back in the 91-92 season, and came to Atletico Madrid, the only time that they've previously played them, and were beaten 3-0 in the first leg, and that was the end of their defence, really. Mark Hughes scored an early goal at Old Trafford in the second, but it still ended up all square, and Atletico won 4-1 on aggregate. United have to make sure that the second leg of this one isn't academic. They're just having to try and hang in there at the moment. Have stopped the succession of half chances that Atletico were creating. That's something, but it's just about as positive a spin as you can put on it at the moment, because Manchester United are far from their best. Long diagonal ball from Atletico. Renan Lodi, who's fitted in really well in this unaccustomed position on the left-hand side of midfield, chesting it down, finding the goal scorer Joao Felix. Felix with a lovely quick turn, brilliantly quick feet. Couldn't beat Lindelof though. Forced to play it back to be able to come forward again. Just working the ball back towards the fullback Ranildo. And then Sancho will pick it up on the touchline. He's gone back to Varane, who controls it with his first touch, finds Maguire with his second. Shaw taking it out to the Manchester United left. almost on the touchline when he drives it forward. Rashford with a cushion header back for Fred. Played forward into the feet of Ronaldo. With his back to the direction of play. It was a poor layoff from him. He gave Pogba little chance. He did really well, actually, the Frenchman, to make as much of it as he did, but ultimately he's fouled Herrera. And the free kick goes Atletico's way on halfway. 38 gone, it's 1-0 to the Spanish side.
Yeah, if you're asking what you would like to see from United, you would like to see Fernandes receive the ball between the lines. That hasn't happened. Ronaldo potentially get the opportunity to face more crosses coming in the box. We haven't seen that. And the two wide players isolating the fullbacks one-on-one. That hasn't happened either. And for United to get a little foothold in the game, these at least 3 or 4 things that I've mentioned there have got to happen.
Still just the one attempt on target all night, and that was the Atletico Madrid goal more than half an hour ago. United 68% possession. They've done next to nothing with it, unfortunately. Here's Bruno Fernandes trying to help it forward. That is a nice touch. Just in behind Rashford to find Ronaldo, who has his legs swept from underneath him by Shime Vasalko. No yellow card, though, to Ronaldo's frustration. And the referee has been very consistent in that regard. It's just that kept his card in his pocket all night.
Yeah, I think that challenge was more than worthy of, it's induced cramp by the looks of it, but it seems to have, it probably deserved a yellow card. What Atletico have done well, they've got 2 and 3 players around the ball when there's been an opportunity of a counter-attack. Pogba's lost the ball a couple of times, Fernandes, and Ronaldo's been put on the turf illegally on a couple of occasions, and that was one of them.
Yeah, he's coming for some treatment, but he can't be too surprised that that is the case. His record against Atletico, 25 goals in 35 games, 7 in 10 Champions League ties against them in his career. Lindelof played forward through the midfield, and Pogba just too tardy in getting possession, and Kondogbia, who's effervescent, a real dynamic presence in the heart of the Atletico Madrid midfield, able to bring it forward. He then lost out on the edge of the penalty area and it's knocked away, but it was Pogba that time whose blushes were spared.
Yeah, once again a loss of possession, and when Atletico have pressed, they've got reward from it, and that's just going to encourage them to do that even more.
Pogba's given it away again. Herrera finding Llorente. He can spin it wide for Vasalko. Vasalko just trying to hit a measured ball, cushioned down the line for Llorente. Was well dealt with by Maguire. Good upper body strength from him, and then right in front of the assistant referee, Llorente and Vasalko both had a little nibble at Maguire. Shaw took exception to that and went chest to chest with Llorente. He's being calmed down by the referee, but the free kick rightly has been given Manchester United's way. Not seeing anything we didn't expect of Atletico. This is a Simeone team in not just in name but in substance. He's based his entire managerial career and his playing career around strong arm tactics like this. And Manchester United would have been well prepared for it, but showing just a few moments of getting rattled by it at times. 3 minutes before the break, it's 1-0 to Atletico.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, you'd say Atletico looked like the side that won it that little bit more, you know, in everything that they've done, whether it be their passing, which has been very clinical, their pressing, which they've had rewards from, and their work to get in the game. And United, on that occasion, done quite well not to react to some of the provocation that they were facing. But listen, it's Champions League, it's knockout stages, it's not a group stage you can afford to lose a game potentially.
Rashford has laid it back for Victor Lindelof, and now Varane. 2.5 minutes to go to half time. Won't be too much time to be added on. Bruno Fernandes chipping it down towards Pogba, who can control it. Right-footed ball in from him is headed away by Ronaldo, and out for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester United right by Marcus Rashford.
Been disappointing tonight so far, Pogba. We expect a little bit more of him in the engine room of United's midfield.
Lindelof's ball in. And Cristiano Ronaldo just peeled away, tried to flick it down. He couldn't find Sancho. Shaw will pick it up on the left-hand touchline. Real deep cross from him. Rashford can then bring it down. He's arced it back inside the penalty area. And the calmest of the lot is Vasalko, who leans back and cushions a header to Jan Oblak under little pressure. Atlético, I think, possibly had a case that there should have been an offside flag earlier on the play. There wasn't. But the ball is in the hands of their goalkeeper, Jan Oblak. We're 90 seconds from half-time, and it's still Atlético Madrid 1, Manchester United 0.
Yeah, the balls were 2 crosses or attempted crosses to come in the box there, and Ronaldo's gesturing, and I can only think he's gesturing about 2 things. A, it's the only cross you've got in the box for me, and B, is there any chance of putting it anywhere near me? It's one of those 2 that he's gesturing about, I'm sure.
Plenty of people have made the point that at times he's been cutting a disconsolate figure over the last few weeks, and it's the same here tonight so far. Pogba has given a free kick away, won the ball, but did so a little bit too strenuously, fouling Kondogbia. Camera again pans to the face of Ronaldo, who's huffing and puffing a little bit, chuntering away to himself. Free kick taken quickly down the line. Renan Lodi fires it in again. Oh, what a miss! It's an extraordinary miss. It remains 1-0. And that is an open goal from about 2 yards. It's been headed down into the turf, up onto the bar, and then the rebound was missed as well. And Manchester United have survived, and you just wonder whether that could be the turning point. Everybody expecting a direct ball inside the penalty area from the free kick. Cleverly worked down around the side of the wall. Renan Lodi with the delivery. And I think it's Vasalco at the far post, who has somehow, and he won't know how, has contrived to miss it. He's headed it down after a slight deflection on the cross. That's what saved Manchester United. It's just come very slightly behind him, but he's 2 yards out. Any form of decent contact, he scores. And it comes back off the turf onto the bar, and Manchester United go into first half stoppage time, only 1 down, and they've got to thank their lucky stars for it.
Really intelligent play there by Atletico. 2-on-1 scenario, facing up Sancho. They've dipped it past him. Fred's more interested in his man inside than dealing with the danger and the cross. And the cross coming, I think you're being a bit harsh on the attempt, because the deflection just took it slightly behind the header, and the header down into the turf. He done quite well to get it on target, but you're right in what you're saying. 2-0 at that stage, just before half-time, would have been a major blow.
Yeah, it was the deflection that made it all important. It wasn't much of a touch, but it has completely made the difference. Just that 6 inches in the trajectory. Fred plays it in. Vasalco heads away. Hector Herrera had picked up a yellow card for the free kick, or for the foul that led to the free kick right at the end of that first half. One player in the book so far, Joao Felix, is the one man on the score sheet with a flying header. And in fact, seeing it again, a replay from a different angle, whether Vasalco, in heading it down onto the ground, it's then cannon back. It's hit Victor Lindelof. So the header actually wasn't on target at all, and it smacked Lindelof right in the face, bounced down onto the turf, come back off the crossbar to safety. Simeone's head's in his hands, and Manchester United will go down through the tunnel into the dressing room. Rice shakes of the head all round, Ronaldo remonstrating with the referee, and at half-time in the first leg, Manchester United very much second best. The only saving grace is that they're only 1-0 down at half-time, Adrian.
Jim, thanks very much. Stuart Pearce, how are they only 1-0 down? That chance there, I mean, you're right about the deflection. That's completely transformed it, but Lindelof didn't know what was going on. Manchester United very, very fortunate that wasn't 2-0.
That could be a defining moment in this tie over the 2 legs, I think. You know, Atletico have been by far the better side. United can't get a foothold in the game in any way, shape or form. They're losing possession in cheap areas in their own half when Atletico have pressed them. And the only plus for United really is the fact they've gone in only 1-0 down at this stage, Abe.
Well, you talked a moment ago, Jim asked you about, what was going on with Manchester United, what wasn't going on with them, because they've been really awful. You're right. And talked about Bruno Fernandes. Is he in a place now where he should be grabbing hold of this team, centre of the park, making things happen, going forward, and really being a creative spark and leading those around him?
I think it's more difficult for him in the position that he plays. He plays further up the pitch. He's beholden to other players getting him the ball beyond the midfield. That's where you see him week in, week out, and that's where he's a real threat for United, getting turned, playing passes and scoring goals. I think more so Pogba, I've been disappointed with, because he's got to be the one that dictates. Probably this performance tonight from him is the performance that frustrates a lot of United fans. They see a player with so much ability, but he's certainly not shown it this evening, and it's his responsibility to feed the likes of the wide players, and more importantly Bruno Fernandes, who is for me arguably their most creative player.
Yeah, you really want to see Pogba dominating the game, grabbing hold of the game. You're spot on. In terms of the goal they did concede, João Felix straining every single muscle to make sure he gets his neck stretched out and his head onto the ball, and he does brilliantly, but the cross is superb as well. But Varane is in front, he's kind of between the crosser of the ball and João Felix. Maguire is behind João Felix, nobody close enough to João Felix to make any kind of challenge on him. So which of those two centre-halves is to blame there?
Well, I think when you look at the still, when they looked at for a potential offside of João Felix, the still of their backline's very good, but his movement, and you've got to give the striker credit, he's moved at full speed or a good velocity across the line and then dipped in to stay onside. And the only person that could have influenced that in any way, shape or form would have been Maguire, in probably muscling him out and getting a good strong arm across his chest. Once he gets the run on you, you're finished.
Yeah, I've got to say, from a layman's point of view, from a fan's point of view, it looks like Maguire, he can see everything opening up in front of him. So he can see that João Felix has got a lot of space there. So does he think that, João Felix is never going to get to that? Because he did strain and stretch for it, did so well to get to it. But maybe Maguire underestimated him and thought he ain't going to get to that.
Yeah, I think there was a scenario where if you're in that defensive position, you've got to be aware of what's on your left-hand shoulder in that circumstance. Once players get a run on you, and João Felix can run across the line, Maguire can't get any momentum. He has to stay and hold a position to a certain respect. But when you see the player coming across your line, that's when you've probably got to step across the striker's line and stop him having that space in front of you. But listen, let's not take it away. The cross was magnificent, and we showed the difference between a cross just in front of a striker and how he stretched to score, and the one that come just behind that hit the bar off of Lindelof's face that was just behind. And the difference, it's only maybe 6 inches, but the difference, one results in a goal, the other one results in hitting the crossbar.
Brilliant first half commentary, Stuart and Jim Proudfoot. We'll be back for the second half on kick-off on TalkSport 2. Atletico Madrid 1, Manchester United 0 in the Champions League. In the other Champions League round of 16 first leg, Ajax lead away to Benfica by 2-1. Premier League here at Turf Moor, Spurs taking control. Harry Kane starting to run things, but it's still Burnley 0, Spurs 0. Watford 1, Palace 2. And Liverpool lead Leeds by 3-0. You're listening to TalkSport 2. This is kickoff, second half coming up of Atletico Madrid 1, Manchester United 0.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League.
Fisherman's Blues with Nigel Botherway this Sunday morning from 6 on TalkSport 2.
Welly boots are a preference for the habitual voyeur of what is known as...
it's a bit dicey.
On life.
A soggy bum can be avoided if you take a bivvy when you do what is known as...
Happy days indeed.
On life.
Got a flask of tea and a big pack of my favourite fish paste sandwiches. Oh, I love a bit of it.
Incredible.
On life.
Look at that brown trout biting. You should tighten up your slack line, mate. Use a better fly. Oh, the anglers.
I like this a lot.
So many anglers. They all go rod in hand through their pond life.
Don Worms, yes, but I'm still going fishing. Fisherman's Blues with me, Nigel Botherway, this Sunday morning from 6 on TalkSport 2.
The UEFA Champions League, live on TalkSport 2 with Heycar. Buy a quality check used car with a 10-day money-back guarantee. Search Heycar to find yours.
Got the pick and mix, Sergey?
Oh yeah,
What movie are we watching?
superhero.
Sergey, we have superpowers! Look, I can fly!
And I've got claws and a tail.
Sergey, you've always had claws and a tail.
Oh yeah, did I always have laser vision?
Oh no, Sergey! Close your eyes! Switch your car or home insurance to compare the market today and get 2-for-1 cinema tickets. With a qualifying product, 1 membership a year, participating cinemas, Tuesday and Wednesday, 2 standard tickets only, cheapest free. T's and C's apply.
My prostate cancer was thankfully caught in the nick of time, but it shouldn't be down to luck.
Men at higher risk are
aged over 50,
those with a family history of the disease,
or black men over 45.
Check your risk of prostate cancer now. Search Risk Checker or visit prostatecanceruk.org. Men, we are with you.
Some people worry that being a Royal Navy reservist won't fit into their everyday life. True, you might have to miss your brother-in-law's open mic night and the odd repeat of Celebrity Cash Under the Hammer. But when you're in a rib doing 38 knots on a crisp winter's morning, we're pretty sure you'll get over it. Royal Navy Reserves. Don't do the everyday, every day. Search Royal Navy Reserves.
Hi, got 2 dozen roses for Sally.
For Sally?
Me.
The boyfriend hasn't just nailed Sally's birthday.
And here's the matching earrings.
He's only gone and cinched it, just like he cinched his motor. There's thousands of quality check cars online, all with free home delivery, so you can be certain you've absolutely cinched it.
Where do you want these tropical lovebirds?
Buying a car? Don't just nail it, cinch it. Delivery to GB Mainland, Isle of Wight and Scottish Islands only. T's and C's apply.
Fight Night Extra on TalkSport 2 with DAZN. Insider news, knockout names and nailed-on adrenaline from the UK's hardest hit and closest to the canvas boxing showcase. Get psyched up on the sweet science with a weekly knockout card of big fight build-ups, backstage bust-ups and heavyweight debate. Don't do a thing, just get in the ring. Fight Night Extra, Tuesdays from 5 on TalkSport 2 with DAZN. Your boxing, your way. DAZN.com.
Women's Football Weekly with Faye Carruthers on TalkSport 2, the only dedicated women's football show on UK national radio.
Knocks it past her and gets it in.
With expert analysis, speculation and opinion from some of the biggest names in the global game.
Becky Spencer, Jamaica goalkeeper. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
All the action, excitement and drama from across the entire women's game.
I think she deserves an apology, in my opinion.
Women's Football Weekly with Faye Carruthers.
We are across everything that goes on in the women's game.
Monday night from 7
on TalkSport 2.
The home for women's football.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker.
Champions League live on TalkSport 2.
Maguire heading it away, back into the fray from Kondogbia. Slight miskick from Bruno Fernandes and an opportunity really well blocked by Victor Lindelof, who threw himself into the line of fire of Jimenez's shot. And that was an important piece of defending from the Manchester United man. Felix in towards the near post again. Lindelof with another important header can just head the curling ball further outside the penalty area. Renan Lodi will drive it back in and the header is in. Brilliant ball in from Renan Lodi, a flying header from Joao Felix off the inside of the left-hand post. And it just rolled across the line. Blistering start for Atlético Madrid. They've been on the front foot since the first whistle, and they lead Manchester United by a goal to nil. Rashford trying to get past Renan Lodi, and he's succeeded as well. Then turns back inside towards the edge of the penalty area, into the feet of Ronaldo. Layoff from him for Bruno Fernandes, and it just dipped after a deflection and goes a fraction wide. It's Correa inside the penalty area, back for Renan Lodi, whose delivery is met on the turn by Joao Felix, but he's volleyed it way over the bar. Now Varane, just oblivious to the fact that De Gea was going to take a quick goal kick. He spotted the ball down, he tapped it 2 yards to his right, and Varane walked away from it, not expecting that. They got it away, but then Atletico went in the next phase of play and then win a free kick about a yard to the left-hand side of the penalty area. And at times, although they've largely got away with it, Manchester United have been shambolic at the back. Hammer again pans to the face of Ronaldo, who's puffing a little bit, chuntering away to himself. Free kick taken quickly down the line. Renan Lodi fires it in again. Oh, what a miss! It's an extraordinary miss. It remains 1-0. And that is an open goal from about 2 yards. It's been headed down into the turf, onto the bar, and then the rebound was missed as well. And Manchester United have survived, and you just wonder whether that could be the turning point.
So half-time, second half to come. Atletico Madrid 1, Manchester United 0. And I've just seen the deadlock broken here at Turf Moor in the Premier League. as well, and Burnley lead. It's Burnley 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. We've got less than 20 minutes left. It's a free kick out on the right, from quite wide out on the right as well, and a cross is pushed in, and Ben Mee, the captain, right on the spot, armband on, head on the ball, and he buries it past Hugo Lloris in the Tottenham Hotspur goal. Nothing the Spurs keeper could have done. Just a few moments before that, Jay Rodriguez had a header well saved by Hugo Lloris, and then seconds after that, right at the other end, Son teed up Kulusevski, who fired wide when perhaps he should have done better. But from a set piece, from a free kick on the right, Burnley have taken the lead, and it's the captain who's done it. Ben Mee with the header past Hugo Lloris. It's Burnley 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. This game is live on TalkSport right now with Sam Matterface and Danny Mills, and Spurs, who won at Manchester City on Saturday, live on TalkSport, trail at Burnley 1-0. Let's find out what's happening in the other Premier League games. Let's go to Vicarage Drove with Ian Danta.
Watford 1, Crystal Palace 2, the home side starting to get a bit desperate in their search to get level and get closer to those outside the bottom three. Femenino with a corner headed down and flicked over the bar. It's going to be another corner to Watford. There's been a chance for Palace to make it 3-1. They led 2-1 at the break, and Zaha could have fed Michael Elise in acres of space down the inside right channel, but he played a straight ball through to Jean-Philippe Matete, who got into the area. Elise continued his run, but Matete couldn't find Elise with the cross, and so Watford survived. Another corner on the far side that Femenino is going to take, cleverly standing right on top of Jack Butland and a mass of players around the penalty spot as the cross comes in. Butland's punch isn't convincing, but Zaha gets it clear, and Palace are inching towards their first win of 2022. Watford 1, Palace 2. Well,
the game at Watford and the game here at Burnley, 7:30 kickoff, so less than 20 left in both of those, but the game at Anfield was a 7:45 kickoff. What's the latest there, Matt Jones?
And it's still Liverpool 3, Leeds 0, as it was at half-time, just approaching the hour mark here. Leeds made 2 subs out of the break. Rodrigo and Click came off, Tyler Roberts and Jamie Shackleton on in their place, but they are still so open at the back, and we've seen Mane waste a further chance for Liverpool, dragging an effort from distance wide, and they just look forward to getting as high up the pitch as often as they can, particularly in the fullback positions. Leeds just cannot cope with them. 59 minutes on the clock. Liverpool 3, Leeds 0.
So you're up to date in the Champions League and the Premier League Championship. Latest: Derby 0, Millwall 2, Fulham 1, Posh 0, Huddersfield 0, Cardiff 0, QPR 1, Blackpool 0, but Rangers down to 10 men. Dion Sanderson sent off. Sheffield United, Blackburn are goalless, and Stoke Luton are goalless. And in the Arnold Clark Cup, England 1, Germany 1, 7:30 kickoff. That 2 in the last 20 minutes of the game. So let's take you back to the Champions League, round of 16, first leg tie, and Manchester United have got work to do. Rangnick's results aren't bad, but performances, and certainly the first half display tonight, have not been easy on the eye. Former Forest, West Ham and Newcastle defender Stuart Pearce is alongside your commentator on TalkSport 2, Jim Proudfoot.
Yeah, Manchester United have been probably at their poorest, really, since Ralph Rangnick took over. It was a hugely disappointing first 45 minutes, and the only way is up. Victor Lindelof playing at right back has been an interesting experiment. He has made a couple of absolutely vital touches. There was one great block early on, and it was his nick on that cross, which was headed by Vasalko into Victor Lindelof, which made a massive difference as well. But what have you made, Stuart Pearce, of Lindelof playing at right back? Is an experiment that should continue? Should they bring on a more conventional right back in his place, or is he not the problem?
Well, for me, I don't think he's been a problem playing right back, but what I would say, if you're going to make a change, slide him in one and probably put a naturalised right back on, because I think Varane's been the one who's looked a little bit shaky, a little bit loose in possession. He, for me, is the one probably in the back line, but more importantly, as much as they don't need to concede another goal, where is a goal going to come from? And we've had no suggestion really in the first half that United will actually score.
Bruno Fernandes, who just hasn't been able to influence the game at all, finding Fred. We are back underway for the second half. Vasalko's just caught Ronaldo, who thought that was a little bit of a snidey one off the ball. The two teams like this, Atletico, Oblak in goal, Vasalko, Savic, Jimenez and Ranildo, Llorente, Kondogbia, Herrera, Renan Lodi, and then Joao Felix and Correa up front. And Manchester United, De Gea in goal, Lindelof, Varane, Maguire and Shaw, Fred and Pogba, Rashford, Bruno Fernandes and Sancho, and Cristiano Ronaldo up top.
I can't see it being too long before they make a change, United. I really can't, because they've started this second half as they finished the first half on the back foot, and they're going to have to change that. And once again, another corner from Atletico.
Yeah, they got a corner. They had the opportunity with Joao Felix, the goal scorer, just to be able to slide it in there towards Llorente. But it's a corner which is going to be taken on the right flank. 90 seconds into the second half here on TalkSport 2. In the Championship, Cardiff taking the lead away at Huddersfield, who are unbeaten in 15. Tom Doyle has scored that, and Danny Hilton has given Luton the lead at Stoke. Herrera standing over this corner as Atletico look to double their advantage. Jimenez trying to get free at the far post. Header away came from Maguire. Falls out for Llorente, whose right-footed effort goes wide. Out of play for a goalkeeper. No discernible change to the pattern of play at the start of this second half, with Atletico Madrid still dominating proceedings in all the areas where it matters.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they look a threat directly from corners, Atletico, but where they do look a threat is when it comes out. That secondary ball and cross that comes in has caused problems this evening.
Pogba trying to help on a long clearance from De Gea. Goes straight over Rashford and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Atletico left. They've reached the knockout stage for the 8th season in 9. They've reached the quarterfinals in 5 of their last 8 Champions League campaigns. Just to reiterate the point that we made in the first half, the only saving grace for Manchester United at the moment is that they are only 1-0 down. And if they could, the way things have been going so far, get back to Manchester for the second leg with the deficit being only 1, they will consider that they've had a major result. Ball played inside the penalty area. Lindelof heads it away. Stop Renan Lodi coming in behind him, but it's gone out of play for another corner, which Herrera will trot over to take.
Once again, Jim, the quality of the cross is fantastic, you know. It's got to be dealt with. It's been whipped, it's got pace on it, it's curling away from the goalkeeper, and it's got an invite on to come and attack it. On that occasion, Lindelof got himself in a decent position, helped it on for a corner.
Now Ronaldo comes and eyeballs David De Gea, and has quite an animated discussion with him. Ronaldo standing right on the near post as they prepare to defend this corner. Pogba's got his arms around Jimenez on the edge of the 6-yard box. Bruno Fernandes trying to stop the flick at the near post. It was Ronaldo that could get it away. Back in from Reinildo. Forward towards Joao Felix. Has come back from what was close to being an offside position but wasn't. Shaw then drives it forward and it hits Llorente. Loose ball breaks United's way in the midfield. Sancho back for Bruno Fernandes. Out towards Ronaldo. Good movement off the ball from Sancho, and that's the pass that Ronaldo has played. Now goes back for Bruno Fernandes, and that's a cross, unfortunately, in keeping with his night. He's hit it almost twice as hard as he should have done. Apologises, shakes his head, but it sailed into the crowd.
I've never seen him get a cross or a pass that wrong, I've got to say, in all the time I've been watching him in the Premier League. And that probably shows and highlights the difference between both teams. The crossing ability has been absolutely wonderful from Atletico, maximising every half chance they've had. United, slight chance to get a decent ball in the box and sailed behind the goal.
Alexander Mitrovic up to 33 for the season in 32 games as Fulham take a 2-0 lead at home to Peterborough, and a challenge by Luke Shaw on Vasalco, and the referee is reaching into his pocket and one of the cards has fallen out. The red one fell on the floor and he picked the yellow one up. Looked for a moment as though he was trying to take the red one out to brandish it to Shaw, but it is a yellow card, and he's the first Manchester United player booked.
Yeah, well, Ronaldo's been haranguing the referee, claiming there should be a booking, and sadly for United, it's one of their players. Just a little bit late there, stood on the foot, and you can see why it's been a yellow.
You're listening to Atletico Madrid against Manchester United in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport 2 with Hey Car, where every used car is quality checked and comes with a warranty. Search Hey Car to find yours. This break in play lets me reiterate the situation in the Championship at the moment. Derby 0, Millwall 2, Fulham 2, Peterborough 0, Huddersfield 0, Cardiff 1, 10-man QPR a goal up at home to Blackpool. Charlie Good has just been sent off for Sheffield United, but still 0-0 at home to Blackburn, and Luton lead at Stoke by a goal to 0. live over on TalkSport for you right now. Burnley 1, Tottenham 0. Ben Mee with the goal. And for Burnley, who started the night 5 points adrift of safety with 2 games in hand. Spurs 1 at Manchester City. Now they're going to follow that up with a defeat at Burnley 3 days later. Still Watford 1, Palace 2, and Liverpool 3, Leeds 0 at Anfield in the 7:45 kickoff. This one kicked off at 8. Atletico Madrid still lead, courtesy of Joao Felix's header on 7 minutes. Rashford, Bruno Fernandes just flicked it round the corner, but Hector Herrera has given him no space whatsoever. Loose ball broke for Correa. Joao Felix able to link it up, and Lodi taking it on. Just stepped away from Varane, whose reaction acknowledges that he maybe got a little bit lucky. He just stepped up from the defensive line and they very nearly were able to play around him. He almost certainly having his worst game in a Manchester United shirt to date. Just one of those nights for Rafael Varane at the moment. 52 gone and Manchester United trail 1-0. Now they look for the run from Marcus Rashford down the left-hand side of the penalty area. That needed dealing with by Savic, who's put the ball almost over the corner flag, out of play, but it is a throw to restart play for Manchester United on their left. Taken quickly by Bruno Fernandes. Back from him to Maguire. Maguire further back towards Varane. Manchester United still finding possession easy to come by. Good possession in dangerous areas, almost impossible to come by. What will they be able to do now? Sancho linking up with Pogba. Pogba trying to work it back to him. Bruno Fernandes just waiting on the edge of the penalty area. It's nicked away from him. Rashford can play it forward, but bisected the gap between Ronaldo and Shaw ahead of him. And then Correa tries to bring it away and does well to hold it up. He found Joao Felix, who got away from Bruno Fernandes. And that might be a yellow card as Bruno Fernandes fouls his international teammate. Felix stands hands outstretched, asking for that decision. But it is a free kick, nothing more, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit late. Felix there, just seeing a little hole and just diving through it. I think without the option of a pass, more than happy to take a free kick and slow the game down.
They haven't played like a side short of confidence, Atletico Madrid, at all. I talked about their recent record, that they've lost more than half of their games since match day 6 a couple of months ago. Defensive insecurities have abounded, but Manchester United just haven't been able to make the most of those. They haven't been able to create any chances in the way that so many of Atletico's domestic opponents have. There's a Madrid derby here a few weeks ago, not the Madrid derby, but a game for Atletico against Getafe, which ended up 4-3 to Atletico, a most un-Simeone-like scoreline, but one that really tells you where Atletico have been this season. But they've been comprehensively superior tonight. Now ball for Bruno Fernandes, couldn't quite get it into his stride. It was an excellent ball to find him. He chested it down left-hand side of the penalty area, but then couldn't get a shot in. And Victor Lindelof is forced to concede a free kick. Can be a threat to get away quickly. So it's an Atletico Madrid ball about 10 yards outside their own penalty area. Still 1-0 to the hosts.
I think you spoke about Atletico's form of recent weeks. Sometimes cup competitions come as almost a breath of fresh air, if you like, you know, and without the rigours of the league, all of a sudden it's something slightly different. Champions League, and they've got a really good history in Champions League, and it's probably given them a slightly lift this evening, and they played very, very well. There's no doubt about that.
England's women take the lead at home to Germany through Millie Bright 5 minutes from time. It's 2-1 in that game in the Arnold Clark Cup. Marcus Rashford bringing the ball down. He's trying to commit Jimenez, who did really well. The Uruguayan defender stayed on his feet and just stuck out a foot to block Rashford's progress. Bruno Fernandes then gives it away, a pass towards Fred, which gave him no chance. Herrera can neatly play his way out of trouble. United trying to wire into the challenges. Sancho couldn't get there. It's knocked away by Savic, and then will be brought forward through the midfield by Joao Felix, out towards the left-hand side for the impressive Renan Lodi, who we've already seen has got some cross on him. Reinildo trying to make his way forward from left back. Lindelof first to the loose ball, can clear it into Renan Lodi, and out of play for a goal kick that De Gea will take.
Yeah, I think Lindelof's played probably as well as anyone in a United shirt tonight, and it's probably not suggesting that Lindelof's had a really good game, but the standard of what's around him, if you like. They've certainly been under par individually and collectively. But with the ability United have got on the pitch at any given time, that they can get a goal out of absolutely nothing, and that's exactly what they need now.
Sancho, back for Pogba. Pogba towards Fred, who had to run, not just around Atletico players, but the referee as well, to try and receive the pass. And Atletico can get it away. Good, well-timed challenge by Pogba, and that should be a free kick for a handball by Correa, who went down holding the ball after Pogba's clean challenge. The referee did give United a free kick. They took it really quickly, worked it square for Rashford, and he's fired it way over the bar from about 25 yards out.
Yeah, Rashford looks a little bit out of sorts, certainly tonight, and probably leading into it as well. He's not showing that real spark that we know he's got, real outstanding young talent that he is, but we're certainly not seeing that at the moment. Looks a little bit... Have you seen much of Rashford lately in the Premier League, Jim?
Yeah, a few games that he hasn't been himself over the course of this season. That has continued into tonight. Wilfried Zaha has just scored for Palace. They're 3-1 up at Watford. Bad night for Watford as Burnley continue to lead Tottenham, and Watford themselves 3-1 home to Palace, whose first win in 7 Premier League games now looks assured. That's Wilf Zaha's 7th goal of the season. Still Liverpool 3, Leeds 0. Burnley ahead against Spurs. Live view and exclusive right now over on TalkSport. Ben Mee's goal still the difference between those two teams. Elsewhere in the Champions League, Ajax lead at Benfica by 2-1. Atletico bringing the ball forward, but Shaw can cut out Joao Felix's run. Bruno Fernandes, United finding a little bit more space in the midfield now. Still some of the passes are going awry. That was Correa on that occasion who came back well and slid in, having read a situation expertly. Llorente will work it through the midfield and down towards Hector Herrera. Llorente gets it back. It goes back to Savic, the Montenegrin centre-half, works it forward. Shaw turns it over his shoulder. Brought down again by Herrera. Flicked forward, but Joao Felix was offside, and it's a free kick to Manchester United, about 10 yards outside their box. 58 gone. 1-0 Atletico Madrid lead, as has been the way of it since the 7th minute of the night.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the goal scoring records of United this year in all competition. I think is the table I'm looking at. You know, Marcus Rashford, 21 games, 5 goals. Sancho, 4 goals, 28 games, you know, or 28 appearances. Let's say some of those are from the bench, but they would expect a higher tally, certainly from Rashford. Sancho, changing clubs, changing countries, may be understandable, but Rashford, you would expect a little bit more from him.
Bruno Fernandes as well, although the goals have picked up. If you take the hat-trick that he got against Leeds on the opening weekend out of the equation, 6 in his last 32. And so they haven't got the balance right going forward. As I mentioned earlier, it's just under Ranić, just been a different set of problems really. Here's Lindelof now on the front foot, more proactive from United. His cross is blocked, and he just fell awkwardly, Victor Lindelof having delivered. Joao Felix is there and will try and knock it away with the help of Kondogbia. Herrera trying to turn it back towards Joao Felix, but Fred made sure that he couldn't. Fernandes then into the feet of Ronaldo. Here's Rashford. Fernandes continued his run forward. So many red and white shirts coming back and restricting the space that Manchester United have to work with. And then eventually Lindelof is forced to give a free kick away, and that's going to earn him a yellow card.
Yeah, that they've not found that killer pass this evening, United. They've had a couple of, probably as of the last 10 minutes maybe, a couple of odd opportunities where they've been able to find that odd pass and not found it. But once again, credit's got to go to Atletico, as you rightly said. They're getting big numbers behind the ball in critical areas and just blocking the lines of passing.
So Lindelof in the book, along with Luke Shaw. That's both Manchester United fullbacks who have been cautioned now. Shaw's yellow card is 10th of the season, so Lindelof's 3rd. Hector Herrera has also had his name taken for Atletico. Half an hour to go. It's a good ball played through. Correa, great turn. Still Correa, but well blocked. Varane got in the way, didn't commit himself. And now Manchester United will be able to bring it forward. Bruno Fernandes. High ball over the top, looking for Ronaldo. Savic chasing hard, backpedaling, straining the neck muscles. and steered it back to his goalkeeper.
He's had a really solid game this evening, Savic, no doubt about that. He's snuffed things out. He's made a couple of crucial tackles, and when he has decided to go after the ball and make challenges where you thought, this is a contentious area, if you like, in and around the penalty box, he's been very clean with his challenges.
Played in just the one Manchester derby in his time with City. That is Stefan Savic. He lost it. Player who sent off against Chelsea last season. Atletico have been so much better tonight than they were in the round of 16 against Chelsea last season, where they lost what was nominally a home leg but was played on foreign soil by a goal to nil, and then lost at the Bridge 2-0. Here's Renan Lodi with Luis Suarez out warming up now for Atletico. Varane able to get it away. No foul. Bruno Fernandes having to just come in to meet a ball which was slightly underhit by Lindelof, and players have been possession turned over cheaply again. Another goal for Wilf Zaha. Palace 4-1 up at Watford. Not a good night for Roy Hodgson against his old club. Zaha with 2 in the last 5 minutes there. Watford 1, Palace 4 as they go into stoppage time. Burnley still lead Tottenham by a goal to nil. Liverpool 3 up with just over 15 minutes to go in their match at home to Leeds. Good preparation for Liverpool ahead of the Carabao Cup final coming up for you on Sunday. Now, we've got it live for you on Talk Sport. The build-up starts at 3. Ali McCoyston and Andy Townsend alongside me talking through the action. Adrian Durham in the chair at Wembley, 3 o'clock this Sunday. That's over on Talk Sport. Manchester United continue to hang in there best as they can, taking a free kick quickly through Pogba. But a yellow card shown to Reinildo. The referee wasn't happy with the free kick being taken as quickly as that because he wanted to book Reinildo. He didn't think it was even a foul. Certainly Atletico supporters, judging by their reaction, didn't think it was worthy of a yellow card, but that's the decision that has been made.
Yeah, they've ended up... the modern era of football, I think, Jim, is whoever goes to ground gets the free kick, and on this occasion I think there was a nudge there. There was enough there. I think there was a push, a semi-push across Pogba's chest, and probably I think the referee got the right decision. Credit to him.
So Reinildo booked, 4th player to have his name taken tonight. Now, what can Manchester United muster from this set piece? It's a free kick. It's 15 yards from the dead ball line. It's a couple of yards in from the right-hand touchline. Bruno Fernandes and Luke Shaw are the 2 men that are standing over this. Lindelof is forward with his arms up. Pogba is right in the mix as well by the penalty spot. Rashford stands on the edge of the penalty area. Varane trying to get free. Ronaldo is in there as well. It's just headed away before he got to him. Driven back in by Sancho after Jimenez's initial clearance. That shot was blocked, and it comes back out now towards Rashford. Rashford can't get anywhere, and Atletico will be able to bring it forward, and Rashford has fouled Llorente to stop a quick counter-attack, and that's going to be a yellow card as well, and probably shouldn't be.
No, potentially not. Well, you lose track whether it's a foul or not. You have to see it again and see it again on replay. The one thing that's brought that yellow card around was Rashford in good possession of the ball, and I think he's tried to find a pass to beat someone and got it wrong, and in the end chasing back ended up giving the free kick away, which suits Atletico.
Burnley have beaten Tottenham by a goal to nil. First time they've made back-to-back Premier League wins since January of last year, following up their victory at Brighton with another clean sheet and a victory tonight. Manchester United are going to be making a triple substitution. Telles, Wan-Bissaka and Matic are all coming on. And that might tell you everything you need to know. Rangnick almost settling, potentially, depending on who comes off, for a 1-0 defeat. Just trying to stop the flow, doing something to stem the tide.
Yeah, it almost looks like 3 defensive substitutions there, which is quite incredible, really. It'll offer 2 full-backs maybe, give a little bit of punch going forward, but it'll be interesting whether he juggles the pack slightly and see who he takes off.
So the first change is Wan-Bissaka for Lindelof, which might have been expected. Lindelof playing at right back tonight, and hasn't been the worst by any stretch of the imagination in the context of a poor defensive performance from Manchester United, but an orthodox right back on now. Matic for Pogba is the second change.
Pogba's been very poor tonight. There's no doubt about that.
Nemanja Matic is the man that is going to come on. Hasn't played for 5 weeks because of a shin problem. And Alex Telles for Luke Shaw, so a straight swap of left back as well.
Yeah, it's strange substitutions, I think, in some ways. You know, I suppose if you're looking to block things up a little bit, I think Lindelof's done quite well tonight. I would have been tempted to slide him inside, and maybe Varane would have been the one for me. But listen, what do I know?
Burnley 1, Tottenham 0 a result. Liverpool 4 up now at home to Leeds. And Sadio Mane has scored the fourth 10 minutes from time. Liverpool 4, Leeds United 0. It's Mane's 12th of the season. Liverpool going to be closing the gap to Manchester City to just the 3 points with that, their 9th successive win in all competitions. Extending their unbeaten streak at Anfield to 26. Atlético 1, Manchester United 0, midway through the second half. Jim Bradford and Stuart Pearce talking through the action from our studio monitors in London, with Matic in possession. Ronaldo makes his way forward off the ball. Bruno Fernandes stayed down for a moment. Matic just opening up his stride and making good progress. Wan-Bissaka then slides in looking for Rashford, but Atlético, the minimum of fuss, can get it away with Reinildo. It goes back for Kondogbia, and he's had an excellent game, and will just chip the ball out towards the right-hand touchline with a chance to fire it forward over the top. Maguire heading it away. Correa comes to meet it, and there was a handball in there. Free kick to Manchester United. Watford 1, Palace 4 is a result as well, and England's women have won by 3 goals to 1. They added a third. Fran Kirby scoring in the 4th minute of stoppage time in that. England winning by 3 goals to 1 in that game against Germany in the Arnold Clark Cup tonight. Go through the Championship latest for you very shortly. All those games have about 7 or 8 minutes to go. This one now in its final quarter. It's an hour since Atletico Madrid scored the goal. Fred plays it back for Varane. Varane will just bring it forward 5 yards, another tentative 5 on top of that. Little 1-2 with Rashford, and then Varane gets it back, turns and plays a conservative ball back for Nemanja Matic. Matic bringing it forward. Good defence splitting ball from him. Bruno Fernandes trying to turn it back across. It hits Renan Lodi, but he hasn't got the corner that he thought because the offside flag is up against it. But better, more inventive from Manchester United.
Yeah, found a decent pass there. It was Matic who's just come on, has found that pass. Good defence splitting pass, and I think he just delayed it slightly, and that enabled Bruno just to run offside slightly.
It would have been very interesting had they scored from that. He may well have been on. It was very, very close.
It was tight.
So possibly should have been a corner, but you can understand why the flag came up. Renan Lodi has gone down injured. He has also caught the eye. He's a player that can play at left back. He can play on the left of a back three, on the left of 2 centre-halves as well. He's played with some aplomb as a left winger tonight. He's just down at the moment, and they might need to warm up a substitute pretty quickly. I don't know that he's going to be able to continue. He's looking pretty disconsolate. The Championship scores like this: Derby 0, Millwall 2, Fulham 2, Peterborough 0, Huddersfield 0, Cardiff 1. That will be Huddersfield's first defeat in 16. Blackpool have just equalised at 10-man Queen's Park Rangers with a goal from Josh Bowler. 1-1 there. Sheffield United down to 10 men as well. 0-0 at home to Blackburn. And it's Stoke 0, Luton 1. As Luton look for a 9th win in 12 games and to reignite their playoff push. They've got Chelsea in the FA Cup next week, and that's live for you on TalkSport. That is this time next week, next Tuesday night in the FA Cup. Got Peterborough at home to Manchester City, which is live and exclusive on TalkSport next Tuesday night. 1-0, 20 minutes to go. Fred back for Varane, skies the ball forward towards halfway. Played down by Alex Telles, but they've lost possession again. And a chance for Llorente to get the ball in. Alex Telles blocked it, but it is an Atletico Madrid corner, which will be taken on the right-hand side. 1-0 they lead.
Yeah, good defending there by Telles. Looked as though it was going to be half a yard short, but managed to make the ground up and get the block. And United, maybe there are no away goals, is there, in Europe this year, Jim?
No, that's correct.
So they might be the recipients if the scoreline stays the same as it is. Might be a big, big plus for them, I think.
Corner to be taken on the right. Herrera with the delivery. Varane just got his head to it in the nick of time. Players from both teams go down. An acrobatic overhead kick from Joao Felix goes wide. And out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by David De Gea. Yes, and just to reiterate that point about the away goals, if this was to end the second leg 2-1 to Manchester United, for instance, it just goes to extra time. The away goals don't count. Anyway, how do you feel about away goals being chalked off?
I always felt as though it give it an extra exciting dynamic to European football personally, Jim. I quite like the fact that there was the away goal rule, but listen, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out now.
In the Championship, Luton 2 up at Stoke. Cameron Jerome, who waited a long time for his first league goal for Luton, has scored 2 in 2 now, and Josh Koroma has equalised for Huddersfield, seemingly to protect that unbeaten league streak. It's 1-1 at home to Cardiff with just a minute plus stoppage time to go there. Ronaldo for Manchester United. Out to the right-hand touchline for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Back for Fred. That's a very deep ball from him. Not as deep as that Bruno Fernandes cross about 10 minutes ago, but it's still easily claimed by Jan Oblak, taking it off the head of Bruno Fernandes. And still Manchester United can't create an opportunity that forces Oblak into a difficult save.
Or any save, to be quite honest with you. You know, he's had a really, really quiet evening in goal, and he'll be quite pleased about that, I'm sure.
Still no shots on target. Still just the one effort on target in the entire game, which was that 7th minute Joao Felix header which went in. But now they can create something down the left-hand side with Renan Lodi. Left-footed ball clipped. It's a poor cross. Varane able to easily sweep it away. Rashford can help it further clear. Ranildo will then bring it back forward again. The left back for Atletico. And it comes to Joao Felix. Movement off the ball comes from Renan Lodi. He was waiting for Herrera to play it into him. The ball goes out of play for what has been given as a corner. And to say that Fred is angry about the decision is putting it mildly. He's absolutely convinced that that should have been a goal kick. And I think he's talked his way into the book.
And the referee certainly got that one wrong by the looks of things, and certainly if Fred's got it wrong himself, I would absolutely question Fred. Definitely a goal kick, that one. Referee giving a poor decision there.
So Fred in the book. None of the Manchester United players, incidentally, a yellow card away from suspension. Joao Felix and Kondogbia are the two walking the tightrope for Atletico, but they haven't been booked. Wouldn't miss the second leg if they do get caution tonight. It'll be a result on both occasions. Ball played inside the penalty area. Fred can sweep it away from the corner. Kondogbia, left-footed volley. De Gea dived for it. I thought it was a save for the cameras because he made a low dive towards the foot of his right-hand post to an effort that went over the bar.
Yeah, really strange one there. I think he's decided to make an effort at the ball and then realised in mid-flight that he was absolutely nowhere near it. But once again, Atletico don't pose a threat directly from the corner, but the secondaries, they seem to be picking up, putting good crosses in or good strikes.
Another Manchester United change. It's Elanga for Rashford.
Yeah, I think not one of Marcus's best evenings, it's fair to say, and he's failed to have an impact within the game. He looks a frustrated figure at this moment in time. Things are not coming naturally to him on a football pitch.
Double change for Atletico as well. Renan Lodi is coming off. He picked up that injury a few minutes ago, and Thomas Lemar is on. He's recovered from COVID, French international, and is back in the fray tonight. Man who scored a couple of Champions League goals in the past, both came against Spurs 5 years ago. And Lemar is on, Joao Felix off, and Antoine Griezmann's a pretty useful substitute to be able to bring on at any stage of the game, and he's come on for the final 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be absolutely delighted. Probably 2-0 wouldn't flatter Atletico, I don't think, on the run of play. Whilst I wouldn't say they've created too many really clear-cut open chances. They've scored, they've hit the crossbar, and they've certainly been the team that have pressurised United's penalty box more so.
The other Champions League tie tonight taking place in Lisbon. Benfica have equalised again, 2-2 at home to Ajax. Roman Yaremchuk has got that goal. Peterborough have one back late on at Craven Cottage. They're 2-1 down at Fulham, but Jack Marriott has scored. Sheffield United have equalised have taken the lead at home to Blackburn Rovers. They're down to 10 men, but they've taken the lead in stoppage time with Ben Davis's goal. That may well be enough to win that. And Liverpool 5 up at home to Leeds. Sadio Mane scoring the latest of them. Liverpool 5, Leeds 0. 1-0 to Atletico Madrid with 13 minutes to go. Varane chipping the ball forward. Wan-Bissaka has done well. He's beaten his man. He's played it back towards Bruno Fernandes. In towards Fred. Fred had players converging on him from both sides, and a free kick is given. It's 2 yards outside the box, and this is a decent chance.
Really good position for a free kick. All of the Atletico players absolutely incensed about this. It was a little sort of, I don't know whether I would class that as a free kick or not. He's probably just edged him out, blocked his path. More of an obstruction than a free kick, I would say.
Derby 1, Millwall 2. Score in the championship, Jake Cooper, the man on target there. Llorente has picked up a yellow card in the last phase of play, and another yellow card, I think, just about to be shown here. Well, the TV director hasn't shown us who to. It might be Jimenez, who is the latest player to have his name taken. But more importantly, this is a chance. Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo both standing over this. Atletico Madrid lining up a wall, which is about 6 yards inside their penalty area. Oblak just asking it just to shuffle over to its left. Fred and Maguire stand in a supplementary wall, just a couple of yards as close to that Atletico Madrid wall as they're allowed to. Griezmann is in the draft excluder position down behind the 4-man wall. The free kick itself is right of centre. Is it going to be Ronaldo? Bruno Fernandes has just departed the scene. Alanga is in there. Sancho stands by the penalty spot. Rafael Varane is in what at the moment is an offside position. It's Ronaldo, and it's way over the bar.
Yeah, poor from Ronaldo. Probably wasn't on his favoured side, a right footer on the right side of the box there. He's tried to go round and up and down, but I think he's got a little nick on the way through. I think that's. I think he got a little nick on the way through. I'm not sure the referee's given a corner on this one or not.
Jimenez was the Atletico player booked, incidentally, the fourth of Simeone's men to have his name taken. Liverpool 6, Leeds 0, and Virgil van Dijk has got in on the action. That's 10 goals conceded this week by Leeds United. 4 at home to Tottenham, who've been beaten themselves at Burnley today. And Liverpool 6, Leeds United 0 in stoppage time at Anfield. QPR 2, Blackpool 1, and a late winner for Huddersfield. Jonathan Russell in the 6th minute of stoppage time. Now chance, Ilanga is in. Ilanga, 1-1, out of nothing. Manchester United are back on level terms. They won't pretend they deserve it, but they will not care. Anthony Ilanga with the biggest goal of his life so far. Ball played in, he took it right-hand side of the penalty area, kept his nerve, drove it into the bottom left-hand corner, and Manchester United have been second best from the very first whistle, and now back on level terms with 10 minutes to go.
This is top quality football for you. Sometimes you don't deserve a result. Well, whether they get one or not, we've got 10 minutes to find that out, but Ilanga's come on, he's on a decent run of form at the moment. and they managed to get the ball to Fernandez in a position that could hurt Atletico, just behind their midfield. Great pass, great weight on it, just tempted the defender to have a dibble at it, and he went to ground, and the goalkeeper, potentially wrong-footed, should have done slightly better in his effort there. Just moving to the side, wrong-footed the goalkeeper and couldn't adjust his position, and United are back in it now, that is for sure. And as you rightly say, don't deserve that, but they've certainly got it, and it looks like Jesse Lingard's being brought on at this moment in time.
That's the final United change. Lingard for Sancho. And the Manchester United fans celebrating Anthony Elanga's first Champions League goal. It's only the second Champions League game of his career. What a moment for him. It's a scoreline that doesn't begin to tell the story of the night. But Atletico, for all their superiority, didn't create enough really worthwhile chances. Missed that really good one in first half stoppage time. And now Manchester United have made them pay with their first shot on target in the 80th minute. And it's Anthony Elanga's goal that ties it up at 1-1.
And this is what teams like United can do. They can afford to take a Rashford off the pitch if he's not doing particularly well. And Elanga, in a good vein of form at present, you know, has come on and certainly delivered for them.
Late goal back for Stoke at home to Luton through Lewis Baker, but surely too little too late. Sheffield United have beaten Blackburn 1-0. Fulham 2, Peterborough 1 is a result. So too Liverpool 6, Leeds 0 in the Premier League. And confirmation of that late goal for Huddersfield. 2-1 up at home to Cardiff. Jonathan Russell scoring in the 6th minute of stoppage time. QPR 2, Blackpool 1 as well. Luke Amos with the goal that seemingly will give QPR the victory, and a much needed victory at that. It'll be their first in 6 games, and they've played more than half of it with 10 men.
I've lost count of the amount of yellow cards in the game this evening, Jim. It's been absolutely incredible.
It's either 9 or 10, which clearly indicates that I've lost count as well. But I will have a look.
Listen, if I gazump you and your stato, we've got no chance.
Tellez is the latest player to have his name taken, the Manchester United substitute. Here's Matic, 7 to go, 1-1. Matic playing it forward towards Bruno Fernandes. Would be a famous win for United if they can somehow come away with the victory here. Matic has kicked the ball away after a free kick has been given against him for handball, and that's the point the Atletico players are making. Bruno Fernandes is arguing the toss, but seeing the replay, it was a clear yellow card offence by Matic, the handball. But he didn't get a caution for it. He moved his hand towards the ball, kicked the ball away, but no card. And that card count, we think, remains at 9. Free kick taken by Atletico. Chipped inside the penalty area. Looping header in towards Jimenez. Couldn't get hold of it. De Gea watches it wide. Jimenez claims a deflection. There wasn't one. And with 6 minutes to go, it's a Manchester United goal kick. And the scoreline remains 1-1.
Yeah, just looking at the replay of the goal there, I think Old Black was a little bit disappointing. He's moving across as Elanga's going to his right-hand side. Goalkeeper going to his left. And then the ball's gone in. Well, a good 3 metres inside the post. He really got wrong-footed there and just collapsed to the ground. And I still feel as though we've got another yellow card for time wasting for De Gea to come, is my prediction for the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Well, he hasn't been booked all season, so he's probably due one. Nearly half the players on the pitch at the moment have been booked. Ball worked forward by Atletico. Correa saw the run of Griezmann ahead of him. He's hardly had a touch since coming on. It's cleared by David De Gea easily enough. Derby 1, Millwall 2, Fulham 2, Peterborough 1. Both results in the Championship. QPR 2, Blackpool 1 is a result as well. The other game in the Champions League, still 2 apiece between Benfica and Ajax. Sebastian Haller scored at both ends in that tonight. Manchester United have a throw in their left-back position, which Alex Telles is going to take, but will just trot as slowly as he thinks he can get away with towards the ball. Retrieves it now. 25 yards inside his own half. 1 apiece. After that, Anthony Elanga equalising goal. Telles with the throw into Bruno Fernandes. turn back forward through the midfield again, but possession turned over easily. Atletico have it inside their own half now with Savic. Stefan Savic taking a touch, then another, rolls the studs of his right boot over the top of the ball as he flicks it out to the right-hand side. Work back out to the Atletico left instead. Turned ably round the corner. A left-footed cross comes in, which is well blocked. Lamar's delivery hitting Varane, but it goes out of play for a corner. And Varane points to his temples with the index finger of both hands and just tells his fellow defenders to switch on and concentrate. And got themselves back on level terms. They can't really afford to let this parity slip now. Ball played inside the penalty area. The cross is deep. Oh, it's off the bar from Griezmann. Left-footed effort, clip back, strikes the face of the goal, and then Lamar wins another corner. Corner very deep. United got the marking all wrong. They had a man over. Llorente playing it in towards Griezmann. He hit the bar. That next corner taken quickly, and appeals that had gone out of play for a goal kick seemed to have some credence. And as the referee acknowledged that, or is he going to allow play to continue? No, it is a throw, which will be taken on the Atletico left. I thought it had been run out of play, but United cleared it, and Atletico allowed to continue. Bruno Fernandes has won it back, though, for Manchester United. So that's the second time that Atletico have hit the bar tonight, but Manchester United are level.
Yeah, I was just going to say before the ball come in, it's the edge of the box which is the concern on all of these corners. They're recycling everything that's coming out to the edge, and on that occasion it was a run, and a late run from someone from the edge of the box once again.
Yeah, it was a left-footed away swinging delivery, and then just coming in to meet it, Llorente poked it forward. And Griezmann, who would have been close to being offside, has got it onto his left foot and just clipped one over De Gea, who knew he was beaten, and it smacked back off the face of the crossbar and to safety for Manchester United. 1-1, 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go.
I think when this tie is done and dusted here and back at Old Trafford, that crossbar rattling in the first half, Jim, is going to be very, very crucial.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, the cross that came in from Renan Lodi, who'd supplied the goal, and it just flicked off Lindelof. The merest hint of a flick for Salco coming onto it, headed it, it hit Victor Lindelof, smacked against the crossbar and to safety. Manchester United have certainly ridden their luck tonight. 1-1. 90 seconds to go. This is one of those nights. Get the job done, get out of town, put it behind you. And we were saying 25 minutes ago that if it ended only 1-0 to Atletico Madrid, I think Manchester United would have considered themselves fortunate. Now at 1-1, even more so.
Listen, they'll be absolutely delighted with the result. Not so much a performance, but if you keep ticking results over, you take that if the performances aren't good. And certainly tonight, too many players under par.
We'll extend the run under Rangnick to 1 defeat in 16, 1 defeat in 19 in all competitions. Varane, high right-footed ball forward from him. Jimenez stopping the run of Elanga, and Oblak comes outside his penalty area to chip it out for a throw, which will be taken on the Manchester United right. And again, they're in no discernible hurry to take this. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, one of the 5 Manchester United outfield substitutes we've seen, hurling it forward to another, the goal scorer, Elanga. Elanga heading it inside the penalty area, looking for Lingard. It's half cleared. Lingard trying to be the quickest to react, couldn't get there in time. And then a push by Nemanja Matic has given a free kick away. Correa, the man that was fouled, and Atletico have the chance to take a free kick about 20 yards outside their own penalty area as we wait for the 4th official to indicate how many extra minutes are going to be added on. Just a matter of seconds away from finding out. 4 is the answer, as Radek Petrescu has the numbers board above his head. We're in those 4 additional minutes now. Long free kick played for Salco, trying to head it on into the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, but it was cleared, and then Savic is forced to concede a throw that United will take on their left-hand touchline. 1-1 in stoppage time, and Matic, who is one of the players that has come on for United, has just gone down hurt here. They've made all of their changes, so he's going to have to try and labour on if he can. I'd like to think this was just an exercise in man management, but the grimace of pain on his face suggests otherwise. It's his left ankle he's holding, and he might need a little bit of treatment, which is going to elongate the stoppage time.
Yeah, he's a cute player, Matic. I've got to say, he's come on. He's done a job for United since he's come on. The more I look at United's equaliser, the more I sort of apportion blame to the goalkeeper for not making a better fist of it.
Yeah, he's had nothing to do all night, and then has been beaten. He's got the ball now. He's chipped it outside of his penalty area, and he only just found Savic as the ball came down towards Ronaldo. We welcome listeners joining us on TalkSport for the conclusion of this game, with Manchester United back on level terms in a very unlikely manner. Alex Telles crossing here. It's 1-1 with 2.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Bruno Fernandes has it. Fred back for Bruno Fernandes again. He's worked it down towards Alex Telles, queuing up for it in the middle, and his cross comes shot as taking a deflection. It's a Manchester United corner. Stuart Pearce alongside me, Anthony Elanga with the equalising goal for Manchester United that none of their fans will pretend they deserve.
I don't think they'll mind that, you know. I think the United fans will probably see a sort of maybe a rose-tinted version of the performance tonight, judging by the result. And in European football and in knockout football, the result is the only thing that matters.
Absolutely. 1-1 with 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. The corner taken, worked back outside the box by Atletico, but United have got it back again. Telles sending a high left-footed ball in towards Ronaldo at the far post. He's headed it back down. He's kept it alive. Varane was trying to shake to get on the ball. Kondogbia stopped him, and then Elanga's fouled Kondogbia, and it's a free kick to Atletico on the edge of the D, on the edge of their own penalty area. 90 seconds of stoppage time to go that might be elongated very slightly after Nemanja Matic went down just as we ticked into the added minutes. 1-1 would constitute a job well done by Manchester United in terms of the scoreline, but it's not been a performance to remember. Ball played forward. If they get to the quarterfinals, nobody will remember how they've done it necessarily. Maguire heads it away. Ball brought down by Llorente. Savic, former Manchester City man, working it forward towards Hector Herrera. Fred is in there, battling and succeeding in winning it back. Alex Telles playing it forward. It's come off Jesse Lingard. Goes out of play for a throw that will be taken by Atletico, but these passages of play are eating the seconds away. And both sides, judging by the lack of speed in Atletico to take this throw, have settled for the status quo to go to Old Trafford in 4 weeks' time. Passalco taking the throw. Flicked on by Griezmann, who's hit the bar in this second half. Bruno Fernandes getting his foot on the ball in the midfield. Now bringing it towards the edge of the centre circle. High right-footed pass forward from him, and Ronaldo will chase after. He's just been given a shove there by Ranildo, but the referee says no foul. Then he's been given away by Kondogbia. He's had an almost faultless night, but that was a poor touch from him. And Lingard will try his luck from distance. It's spilt by Oblak, and a diving header by Ranildo gets the ball back to his goalkeeper, and that'll be just about that.
Yeah, Oblak's had very little to do tonight, and I don't think he's done it particularly well personally. You know, that was a speculative shot from Lingard, bounced just in front of him. Credit to him, I suppose, but managed to spill it.
Fernandes with the last touch of the night. He volleys the ball to safety. Manchester United will feel as though they're in the box seat with home advantage to come in 4 weeks' time, but they're going to have to play better in that second leg. They really rode their luck tonight. Diego Simeone trudges up the tunnel with a face of thunder. Atletico Madrid hit the bar twice. They'd hit the net early on with Joao Felix with an attempt that for more than an hour was the only shot on target that either side mustered. But Anthony Elanga came off the bench, got the equalising goal. Manchester United with a substandard performance, but probably slightly above par result. It's finished Atletico Madrid 1, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, very interesting, Stuart Pearce. You just alluded to it there. If you go on and win this tie and get through to the quarterfinals, does it really matter how you played in that first leg in Madrid tonight?
No, not at all, to be quite honest with you. As I say, there are too many players under par individually, and collectively they were sort of dominated for large periods of the game without Atletico really troubling the goalkeeper, I've got to say. Their crossing was outstanding, put some really good balls in Atlético that caused the odd problem. But in the main, United will come away and say, listen, a 1-1 on the road will get the job done at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. The Elanga goal, he's come on and done well. Let's look at a positive for Manchester United. Over the last few weeks, he really has been a plus point for Ralph Rangnick.
Yeah, he has, and that's what happens when you're a top blue chip club like Manchester United. If you've got one or two of your offensive players not playing particularly well, all of a sudden you can dip onto the bench and bring a young player on who's got his tail up at the moment to get you out of a bit of trouble. I don't think the finish was clinical. I think the goalkeeper was sort of wrong-footed, if you like, moving across with the ball and couldn't readjust his body weight and make an attempt at the ball. But I don't want to take anything away from the young man and Fernandes. It was probably the first time that Fernandes got turned and faced the opposition up and was in a position to play a clinical pass through their back line.
And if we go back to the first half, the goal, and actually Jim Proudfoot said in commentary that Manchester United defensively had been a bit shambolic. Would that be a fair assessment?
I think shambolic's maybe too strong a word. He's looking straight at me now, and he's with those eyes of don't ever question my commentary ever again. But shambolic, they give the ball away a little bit cheaply on occasion, I think. Varane was guilty of it, especially in the first half, and they cause their own problems on occasion.
So, how do we look at the Rangnick reign then, so far? Just briefly on this, because they aren't playing particularly. It's not easy to watch. It's not fluent. It's not cohesive. But actually, they don't lose many games.
No, which is, stats is what at the end of anyone's tenure will be wheeled out, your win percentage, all of those type of things, and probably whether you've picked up any silverware. Listen, he's only been in a short space of time, and one thing and another. I think the time that he's been in at the club has probably dovetailed with maybe one or two players of his real key players not showing the form that we know they're capable of.
Stuart, thank you very much. Jim, thanks very much. It finished 1-1 and has to go down as a really good first leg result for Manchester United away to Atlético Madrid. They've got to get the job done at Old Trafford. So, Champions League, it finished Benfica 2, Ajax 2 as well. Atletico Madrid 1, Manchester United 1, live on TalkSport 2. Let's just remind you of the results from elsewhere as well in the Premier League. Burnley 1, Spurs 0, Watford 1, Crystal Palace 4, Liverpool 6, Leeds 0. So Liverpool second in the table, of course, 3 points behind Manchester City. Haven't played the same amount of games, and Liverpool have a bit of goal difference as well. Watford are second bottom after that battering, and Burnley moved to third bottom. They are just 2 points behind Newcastle, and Burnley have a game in hand as well. The Lionesses won the Arnold Clark Cup. They beat Germany 3-1 tonight. White, Brighton, Kirby with the goals for Serena Wiegmann's side. And in the Championship tonight, it finished Derby 1, Millwall 2, Fulham 2, Peterborough 1. Mitrovic broke the Championship scoring record tonight in February. Huddersfield 2, Cardiff 1, QPR 2, Blackpool 1, Sheffield United 1, Blackburn 0, and Stoke 1, Luton 2. QPR go third, Huddersfield go fourth, Sheffield United back into the top 6, and Luton 8th, 2 points off the top 6. But it's been a very seriously heavy weather night as hail comes down here at Turf Moor. You probably hear it in the background. It's incredible. It's been like this on and off all evening, and it's been a very Spursy night. Burnley with a vital win. Next up on TalkSport is the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Plenty to talk about. 03717 22 3344. Next up on TalkSport 2, Fight Night Extra with Adi Oladipo.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League. The UEFA Champions League, live on TalkSport 2 with Heycar, where every used car is quality checked and comes with a warranty. Search Heycar to find yours.
Big changes. Funny how they usually start small.
Like when McDonald's started sourcing from the nation's beef farmers, like me.
And egg farmers.
And potato farmers.
But that isn't all. They're helping invest in new technology as well.
So we're fit for a more sustainable future.
Before you know it, they've invested millions of pounds in British and Irish farms. And what started small just turned into something much bigger. McDonald's. Change a little, change a lot.
Whether you run a very small business or are self-employed, you're probably doing more online than ever before. But you're not the only ones. Cyber criminals target even the smallest of businesses. Thankfully, you don't need to be an IT expert to stay protected. Just go to cyberaware.gov.uk to get your customised cyber action plan, a practical range of steps that will help protect your livelihood. Protect your business at cyberaware.gov.uk.
My prostate cancer was thankfully caught in the nick of time, but it shouldn't be down to luck.
Men at higher risk are
aged over 50,
those with a family history of the disease,
or black men over 45.
Check your risk of prostate cancer now. Search Risk Checker or visit prostatecanceruk.org. Men, we are with you.
Cadbury's Win a Day in Their Boots is your chance to share an unforgettable VIP money can't buy chauffeur-driven day with a club legend, including match day tickets, signed boots, luxury hotel, plus loads of lovely Cadbury's chocolate. Clubs include Arsenal, Aston Villa Women, Chelsea, Leeds, Man City, Man United and Spurs. Win a day in their boots with Cadbury. Enter now by grabbing a participating bar and visit winaday.cadburyfc.com. Win a day in their boots with Cadbury. Terms and conditions apply.
At Kia, we believe movement inspires ideas. Take the all-new Kia Sportage. Our sporty SUV with a striking new exterior and advanced interior creates the space to get inspired. Available to order now with hybrid electric technology. And you get £500 towards your PCP deposit and 3.9% APR representative when you order by the 31st of March. Search Kia Sportage. Kia. Movement that inspires. 3.9% APR representative, Kia Finance.
Get an expert guide to all the latest speculation, signings and spending sprees with Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on TalkSport with Tesco Mobile for Business. From the latest deals worth knowing to where the big money transfers are going. Get the inside track in one all-covering football finance feature. Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on TalkSport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Big mobile networks are raising your bills again. Join us for prices that stay fixed. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. For applicable terms and verification, see tescomobile.com/fixed prices.
Game day this Saturday.
Everton versus Manchester City. Coverage from 5. Kick-off 5:30 p.m.
on TalkSport.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker.
This is Fight Night Extra on TalkSport 2.
Good afternoon. Really looking forward to this show today. Really am. If you love your boxing and you love your MMA, then this is the show for you. Find It Extra, where we bring you all the latest from the world of combat sports. Joining me, as always, is TalkSport's Gareth A. Davis for what is, I'm not joking, a mammoth show today. Loads to cover. Coming up on the show, Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte has been signed and hopefully sealed. We finally have a fight between two of the biggest heavyweights in Britain. We'll discuss that in detail and hear from Fury's promoter Frank Warren as well. Kell Brook ended his grudge with fellow Brit Amir Khan in emphatic fashion. Live and exclusive here on TalkSport on Saturday. We'll unpack a thrilling night in Manchester and ask what next for both men. And there's a small matter of two British world champions in action this weekend. We'll look ahead to title defences for Lawrence Okoli and Josh Taylor. Told you, busy show. Don't go anywhere. This is Find It Extra on TalkSport 2.
From Brixton, London, WBC champion, now WBO champion, the body snatcher, Dillian Whyte.
Can't wait to punch Dillian Whyte's face right in, mate.
Tyson Fury is the winner in Las Vegas. Jay Reyes, he throws in the towel.
As far as Dillian Whyte's concerned, why wouldn't he sign the contract? It's life-changing money for him, huge purse.
I'm going to give him the best hiding he's ever had in his life, boy.
Oh, no shot. He's put him down. And Whyte's put Parker down.
Dillian Whyte, I'm going to knock you out, sucker. You're getting it, you dosser.
Yeah, what we are hearing, the good news is we are hearing, and I stayed up till late in the morning to make sure this one was signed and sealed. We are hearing that Dillian Whyte has signed his portion of the contract and the fight will go ahead with an asterisk. There are other bits and bobs to deal with as well, but Tyson Fury looks like he will fight Dillian Whyte, Wembley Stadium, April 23rd. Let's bring in the man that knows a bit more about this story, the great Gareth A. Davis. What a weekend for you, Gareth, by the way. We'll talk about your weekend a bit later. You are absolutely outstanding, sir. We'll talk about that a bit later. Let's talk about this one. Is it done? Is it signed and sealed? Or are we still waiting for other bits to be done?
Good afternoon, Eddie. You're making me blush. Look, this is a really long-running saga. It's 24 days since the purse bid was won by Frank Warren and Bob Arum on Queensberry Promotions to host and stage the WBC title defence of the unbeaten Gypsy King Tyson Fury against mandatory challenger Dillian Whyte. To give you the first two paragraphs of the intro from me. Look, there's still a couple of things to be signed and sealed off. I was expecting to be at a press conference tomorrow for them, and I understand that won't be tomorrow now because there are a couple more things relating something to do with the tax scenario. So I'm kind of delving into it in that way. Listen, Dillian Whyte's based in Portugal. He may even be a Portuguese citizen by now. Tyson Fury's got a license to box in Nevada and obviously can either get a British license here, which wouldn't be a problem, or needs to be licensed here by the Boxing Board of Control as an overseas fighter. Yeah. Who knows about the VAT situation with the $40 million that's been put forward for the purse bid, because it was dollars sent to Mexico City to the WBC. Yeah. So, how does that money then translate over here with the 25 million? Is it paid in dollars to Tyson Fury? The 6 million pounds in dollars paid to Dillian Whyte? What happens to the 4 million in escrow? So I think, given all that's gone before, and we know that Dillian Whyte wanted extra money to promote the fight that was revealed at a lunch that I attended with some other people, with Frank Warren, Bob Arum and Tyson Fury about 10 or 11 days ago. So you put all those things together. I think they're just finalising now. But as you say, I was up till 2 a.m. writing last night just to make sure, got the story over the line, got the kind of the soundings that the contracts were being signed by both. This is the WBC contract, of course, with those purse bids of 80-20, with a purse bid and the split of 80-20. So we're kind of there. So I expect probably next week, because Josh Taylor and Jack Catchell fight this week and the whole phalanx of media goes up to Glasgow, then comes back down to London for Lawrence Okoli at the amazingly still available O2 Arena.
I'm shocked.
On me too on Saturday night. I'm taking an umbrella. Umbrellas at ringside, please, because I do not want to get my laptop wet, or my hair, or my jackets, because it's the glamour occasion. But hopefully next week we'll see the two guys together. I hope it's not going to be just to put a cap on this cardboard cutout of Dillian Whyte next to Tyson Fury, calling him a big tosser and a silly sausage, and creating another, Just Giving page. That was very funny. The good thing about Tyson Fury now is that he is very funny about these things. That Just Giving page, I'm putting 47p in there. I loved it. To create some money. Donate, please, to get Dillian Whyte's press comments. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? At the end of the day, we're going to get a semi-final. Yes, it's a defence of the WBC title. And yes, Dillian Whyte, I know we'll go into this later, has got definitely a puncher's chance. And I say that with full respect. Against Tyson Fury. One punch can change anything in the heavyweight division. And, and then hopefully, and I'll talk about it more in the show. I've got some more news about Joshua and Usyk as well for us later in the show. Yeah.
I love it. That's what we want to hear. A little more gossip bits there. Fantastic. All right, what we do want to hear from, though, is Frank Warren now, Tyson Fury's promoter. He was speaking today and he was asked a question. Was he ever in doubt that this fight would be made? This is what he had to say.
Contracts are signed. There's still a couple of things that we've got to sort out at the moment before we make the official announcement. But I believe everything will be okay, and we move forward. But as far as Dillian Whyte's concerned, why wouldn't he sign the contract? It's life-changing money for him, huge purse. The fact that we won the purse bid and being his promoter, it was great news for him, because if that had been the other way around, he'd have got $2 million less. So he's really, really having it off, and he's got a great opportunity not to just get the purse, which is just under $8 million, but also an upside of $4 million if he wins the fight. So that's where we are. But there's a couple of things to be sorted out, and then we'll make the official announcement.
Frank, we understand it's going to be Wembley, April the 23rd. Are we looking at a record-breaking event here?
We're still looking at another venue. So at the moment, that's up in the air. But the fact of the matter is, it will be a record-breaking event. It's the highest ever purse bid in the world of boxing, and it's certainly the biggest, financially, the biggest fight that any of two British boxers are meeting in a ring.
I mean, as you say, you put in a record purse bid. You're confident, clearly, this will make you guys big money.
Well, we don't do it for a charity, that's for sure, Jim. We feel it's a big event. It is a big event, and there's been a lot of response towards it. Whilst we're waiting for these contracts to be lodged and certain other things to be ironed out. And I'm confident it's going to be a record-busting event. I'm really confident of that.
How's Tyson about it all?
Well, he's a bit, he just wants to fight. It's just a shame it's taken so long to get where we got to. But we have, and in boxing you have to have patience. As I say, we got a couple of things still to sort out, and then we'll go from now.
I mean, there's always things to sort out, Frank. I mean, Tyson Fury was suggesting only recently that Dillian Whyte wanted money to turn up for a press conference. So, I mean, this kind of haggling is normal, is it?
Well, there's as I say, there's all sorts of things which I can't comment on at the moment until we've got everything in place. And once everything's in place, I'm sure we'll move forward for a really successful event, and all the things that happen surrounding it, I'm sure will come out in due course. But it's been to say it's been a headache is an understatement.
Does a winner of this fight the winner of Usyk Joshua?
I don't see why they shouldn't. I mean, what else is there? That's the next biggest fight out there, and that's the one we want to see.
Great to hear from Frank Warren there, Tyson Fury's promoter, and just like Gareth said, he echoed it as well. This is almost a semi-final, with the other semi-final being Alexander Usyk, fingers crossed, versus Anthony Joshua in their rematch of their fight they had in September. A couple of interesting points he made there, and I'd like to ask you, Gareth, on what you think. Obviously, a lot of talk was about Wembley, April 23rd. Look, it's February 22nd today, so I don't know if that's going to happen. Fingers crossed it does. But he also said they're looking at other venues as well, so that's not rubber-stamped Wembley. Principality Stadium was mentioned as well in Wales. Is there a way where this fight goes abroad?
Oh, I hope not. And I mean, that may be something in the contract right now. You never know. And, there may be big offers coming in from somewhere else. Could be the Middle East. I can't see, that it goes there. But it also, there's a chance that it could go to America. But they've said all along, Bob Arum and Frank Warren have said categorically to me, to my face, that, because I've been sitting with them both while they've said it, that they are looking at this fight being in the UK, a homecoming fight for Tyson Fury. They were going to go in late February originally, then in March, but they plumped on St George's Day, April the 23rd, and they're sticking to that. I mean, this is a big fight for the UK. I can't see why it should go abroad unless someone's putting up a massive site fee somewhere and it gets them over the line financially. But I think this is a fight that works in Britain. And just to pick up on something Frank was saying there, there was no way that Dillian Whyte was never not going to sign for this fight, especially in that massive bid. Like you said, 2 million more than Eddie Hearn, who was representing him or putting that purse bid forward to promote the fight. Probably 4 million more than his biggest payday, I would expect. I'm surmising there because I don't know.
I agree with the surmising there. I agree with that.
Yeah. And add to that, just think about the opportunity. He will actually earn £8.5 million if he wins, and he has got a chance. He does believe in himself. Yep. Not only that, he gets to fight for the undisputed title next, and he will earn twice as much money, if not more. And it's not all about money, but think about the glory. I've known Dillian a long time. I knew him when he was in mixed martial arts, when he was a kickboxer, when he was doing different things, when he was not as smooth as he is now, where he wasn't a professional athlete like he is now, where his life was a bit more raggle-taggle. And, knowing his story, I've got so much admiration for the man, for where he's come from and how he's matured, actually. And I'm sure deep down that due to the circumstances, I know Dillian well enough, he'll have been wanting to punch back at Tyson with comments on social media and do all those things. But he's been hushed up by his lawyers, who've said, look, we're getting this over the line. We're going to get the most money for you. We're going to get you the best opportunities. We're going to put you in the best position. He will be chomping at the bit to go Tyson Fury publicly and when they step into the ring. It's massive for him. It's absolutely massive.
Yeah, it's a massive fight for Britain. It really is. And it will do Wembley. It will do any stadium in this country. It really will. Tyson Fury homecoming, Dillian Whyte, all the build-up. Absolutely fantastic. I'm chomping at the bit to hear what you've got to say about AJ Usyk. You teased us a few minutes ago before we played the Frank Warren audio. What is it? Let me know. Come on.
Well, when I was in the arena, I didn't get them on the airwaves on Saturday night. When I was in the AO arena, I think it's the AO arena, isn't it, in Manchester, on Saturday night, I managed to run into, I won't name them, but I ran into a couple of members of Anthony Joshua's team, and had a very good. Yeah, 258. Yeah, say no more though. 258. A couple of members of the team, and they were a little bit forthcoming for once with the fact that. It's not far off announcing who AJ's training team is. They didn't want to tell me, but they said he's definitely assembling the team. He's happy with who he's got. He's looking at a May fight with Alexander Usyk. He's really, really got an appetite for it. There was that offer on the table of 15 million. And he's happy with what he's decided in the end. And you know what? I spoke to Ben Davison last week. I know we'll talk about Ben and Josh Taylor later in the show, obviously defending his undisputed super lightweight title this weekend in Glasgow against Jack Catterall. But, everybody in boxing would love to see Anthony Joshua come back and produce a startling, stunning performance and reverse the tide, if you like, against Alexander Usyk this time. And I got a gentle kind of optimism that this isn't an end game fight for Anthony Joshua, that he's got himself together again and he truly believes. And it's going to be a fascinating 2 or 3 months in the heavyweight division, Eddie. It really is. And once we get that announcement as well, and it's going to be in a stadium in London, it could be Wembley, it could be Tottenham, we are really set for something special at the end of the year if we can get an undisputed title over the line. Because that is so big in heavyweight boxing. People don't realise the amount of politics involved in getting 4 belts together in the blue ribbon division. It's why it hasn't happened for 20 years, because it's shark infested waters with sanctioning bodies suddenly turning on each other and wanting their guy to fight a mandatory and wanting money for those guys to step aside and all those kind of things. But I think we're on the cusp of a phenomenal year this year once we get these 2 fights over the line.
Couldn't agree more, and well said as well, Gareth. I remember speaking to when we done a yearly review show, and you remember you said 2021 was one of the best years you've ever seen. I already look at what potential we could have in the next 3 months, and obviously Dillian Whyte versus Fury, AJ Usyk, Canelo potentially facing Dimitri Bivol, Shakur Stevenson, Valdez, Katie Taylor versus Serrano. You got Condon versus Lee Wood over here. So much just in 3 months. All that. It's absolutely fantastic time for boxing. It really is. All right, you're listening to Find Out Extra here on TalkSport 2 with DAZN. Stream boxing anywhere, anytime with DAZN.com. Still to come, we'll hear from Kell Brook and what's next for him after that big win over Amir Khan. And we'll get stuck into 2 world title fights this weekend for Lawrence Okoli and Josh Taylor.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
Enjoy unmissable coverage of every hard-hitting, mighty Six Nations clash throughout the Championship on TalkSport. Scrum down for expert previews and reviews as the best teams in Europe battle it out to be Six Nations champion. Six Nations updates this Friday morning from 6 on TalkSport Breakfast with The Times and The Sunday Times. Catch essential analysis and insight from our winning lineup of journalists and former internationals, including Lawrence Dallaglio and Sam Warburton. Try it free for 1 month at thetimes.co.uk/trial.
At Asda, we've got great deals on loads of frozen goodies. Get 5 for £5 on McCain, Chicago Town, Birdseye and lots more. So you can start half term with a freezer full of their favourites. Get the Asda price feeling. Selected Asda stores online, subject to availability. Individual prices £1.50 to £2.20 each. Pack sizes 170 to 900 grams. Offer end 2nd of March.
Hi there. Right now, I'm in the left speaker. But now, I've switched to the right speaker. And with help from BP Pulse, switching to an electric vehicle could be this simple too. Now in both speakers. Let life flow from the people you know, with over 8,000 BP Pulse charging points where and when you need them, including ultra-fast charging to get you back on the open road as soon as possible. Find out more about EV charging from BP in the right speaker. Search BP Pulse.
If you're struggling to get your instrument to perform in the moment, do something about it without the awkward conversations or silences. Perform when you need to with Newman. Clinically proven treatment, order online, discreetly delivered to your door. Visit newman.com today. NUMAN.com.
With the new National Lottery scratch card, you could win £1 million in an instant. Like when a pigeon does a number on your coat. So you nip to the shop for tissues, and in that instant, you just decide to get a scratch card. Make today a Wednesday, maybe £1 million Wednesday, with a new scratch card from the National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Search Dream Big, Play Small. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Car 42 picked up at Grange Road.
For the taxi drivers who deliver people home, and the midwives who deliver through the night. To everyone making sure our post is delivered on time, we deliver. McDelivery is open late and here for you. McDelivery at participating restaurants. Delivery fee applies.
Get £200 of social media advertising on Vodafone Business. That's enough for you to reach an audience of 75,000, which means soon you could be the hottest retailer on the block, the busiest construction company in town, or the most in-demand law firm around. Search Vodafone Digital Boost. Vodafone Business. Together we can.
Must sign up to 3 unlimited mobile plans. Eligibility, minimum term and T's and C's apply.
This is TalkSport 2.
This is Fight Night Extra on TalkSport 2.
I know they're saying now they've got no appetite for it, they wouldn't want to see it, it's been going on for 10 years, they should have done it 8 years ago.
It's not my fault the fight's not happening. He don't want the fight. Listen, I want the fight. I want to shut him up and I'll move on.
I will fight Kell Brook and I will beat Kell Brook if it comes down to it. And the world knows that. I'm a better fighter, I'm a stronger fighter. I came to Eddie and I signed a deal with your promotion company. I've got closer to you, so I'm chasing you. Remember that.
I don't care what people say. I know if that fight's made, people will watch it.
I'm at it. I'm first one in that gym and last one out. I put myself through well to make sure I'm ready for this night.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Pursuing Amir Khan, and the referee has stopped it. Victor Longman has stopped the fight and saved Amir Khan from himself. It needed doing. And Kell Brook has won this battle of manslaughter. The longest running feud in British boxing has been settled.
I'll be remembered for this fight, you know, forever. No one's bothered this, that was my 43rd fight. Nobody will remember the 42 fight. They'll just remember the fight against Amir Khan, you know. So I'm so happy that I put that work in and got the victory.
Yeah, what an absolutely fantastic night for British boxing that was. And look, some people might say, yeah, but it's two guys past their best. I just love when boxing's on the back pages, on the front pages, you turn on your TV screen, everyone's talking about it, you meet your friends, everyone's talking about it. It had that. It really did. AO Arena looked packed. And Kell Brook's walkout, I mean, it's just the greatest walkout ever, isn't it? I mean, the pianist, it's just absolutely fantastic. I wasn't lucky enough to be there, and I fell in love with it. Gareth, I don't know how you felt about it. It must have been incredible for you, and you've been to some big fights over the years. This must have been right up there. It felt like a big heavyweight clash.
Yeah, it was a very, very special atmosphere. I mean, it reminded me, I mean, early in the evening I was saying, you know, the only things I felt a bigger atmosphere in that arena itself was when Ricky Hatton was in his pomp. And, you know, but it was very tribal in that way. So was Saturday night. I mean, it grew and grew and grew. The atmosphere was extraordinary. Like you say, it's one of the most memorable nights I've ever been involved in. I'll be honest with that. And drove home from Manchester and through the rain and the wind on Sunday. Absolutely buzzing still. I remember when I covered, I tell you what I did cover there, and I didn't sleep for 3 days afterwards. An amazing night. The adrenaline was coursing through my veins afterwards. Was Joe Calzaghe against Jeff Lacey, one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. I remember staying up till 4 a.m, writing 1,000 words, not being able to sleep, driving back, not being able to sleep through Sunday or Monday, doing all the follow-ups, and just being entranced and in love with the balletic poetry of Joe Calzaghe that night. But you rightly say, there was something final about Saturday night. The amazing atmosphere. I had the privilege of interviewing Noel Gallagher at ringside and Mr. Cavani, this brilliant Uruguayan footballer, and the whole Man City's team were there, the Grealishes, the Stones of this world, and the good and the great. I can say Simon Jordan and Jim White were there in the VIP seats, and it was a fantastic night. And there was an air of celebration that this fight was finally being made. They made a lot of noise in the week. It grew and grew and grew, did Brook and Khan. And even though it was 6 years minimum too late, and 10 years in the making, maybe 20 if you go back to their amateur days when they were very young boys and they knew each other.
Yeah.
The rivalry, the animosity, the grudge, the bitterness, the acrimony that came out through the week got settled in the ring, and Brook was the better man on the night in the fight, and he had more left. And we spoke about this 6, 7, 8, 9 times in the build-up, didn't we, Addy? That this was a fight where you didn't know who had what left, and we found out that Brook had more left, and Khan could not withstand the brilliant mid-range timing and precision that Cal Brook had, and mercifully Victor Lachlan, the referee, stepped in the 6th round to save Amir Khan from his own bravery, because he was getting a terrible beating. And I think it was the end of an era. It's the end of that era of these men who are both 35, who we've known since they were teenagers. One who was a massive star, crossover star, British Pakistani Muslim, who won an Olympic silver medal as a brilliant, wild, fast-fisted teenager. And Cal Brook, who came up from a Sheffield council estate, came up a different route, and both have been world champions. And it just kind of ended the era. And I think it was the fairy tale ending for Cal Brook. And I don't think Amir will suffer from it. And I thought they were both very sporting after. Some people say, oh yeah, but they just build it up because it's a pay-per-view. No, the animosity was real. And, when you've been through, I'm making this bigger than it really is, but when you've been through war with someone, or when you've been through extreme circumstances with someone, when you've been through what they both went through, massive nerves on the night, putting it all on the line, showing who they are, showing their styles, because they fought in their styles, yes, belatedly, yes, past their prime. They gave their all, and I'm so pleased that they were going to have a cup of coffee at some point in the future. Yeah. Really good to see, and I loved both these guys, and really have had the privilege and honour and pleasure of covering their entire careers.
Yeah, it wasn't just a case, as you said there, Gareth, about who had more gas in the tank, and Kel Brook. And I think we saw it, how he made weight, and some say he looked dry. I thought he looked okay actually at the weigh. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, you know what? There's more gas in the tank here from Kel. And he seemed to be upset about the change of the gloves. He seemed to be as spiteful as he once was. Maybe throwing it back to the Carson Jones or the Matthew Hatton fights, where he really just looks like he wants to hurt you. And that's what I got from Kel Brook on the night. Let's hear from Kel now anyway. Look, he's the victor. He was speaking with Jim White, and he was saying it's probably, and he won a world title, but this possibly could be the proudest night of his life.
It's definitely up there, this fight, for me, because it's a grudge match. What's needed to happen for a long time. It's needed to happen for a long time. And listen, we made it happen for the fans, and I took care of business. You know that you talked to me that many times, don't you, about this fight. And listen, it was a one-sided fight. I told you that would happen tonight. I told you this. So listen, I'm just happy that the fans, you've seen it, the world's seen it. I'm going to be remembered for this fight. Not everyone's going to remember me for knocking Amir Khan out.
What did you say at the end when you went into his corner?
I just said, listen, I respect you there. Listen, you took some big shots tonight, and it's like when a fight's over and you've gone through a bit bit of reward together. It's just a natural thing that I'm a nice guy. He seemed to be a nice guy, but you know, he's never given me that respect. But I think they will give me that respect from now on. He's got to.
You're going to fight again?
I'm not sure. You know, my adrenaline's still running. I don't know. I'm going to sit down and speak to the family. You know, me personally, I want to fight, but I know that my mum and dad aren't that too fun, but we're just going to see what my family says.
After what you did to him, do you think he'll fight again?
I don't think he'll fight again now. I think that he's finished now for good.
Yeah, Kell Brook there speaking to Jim White. Look, it was a special night on Saturday. Remember, it was exclusively live on TalkSport, and they did an absolutely cracking job. Look, but despite the convincing win for Kell Brook, there was one moment all the TalkSport listeners were talking about after.
Podemos hablar un poco en español. Ven aquí un momento, por favor.
Cavani, 2-2.
I'm here with Edison Cavani. You're a fan of boxing and you're here for Chris Namos tonight?
Sí, no soy fan del boxeo, pero bueno, vengo a apoyar a Chris, estar aquí para darle mucho ánimo y esperemos que pueda hacer una gran pelea.
Edison is saying that, you know, he's not a massive boxing fan, but obviously because he's Uruguayan as well, he's here to support Chris Namos tonight.
Plays into Cavani, beats the offside trap, shoots past the goalkeeper. It's 2-0 Manchester United now.
Es una liga increíble, la verdad que es algo muy lindo jugar aquí, competir aquí. Bueno, hoy me toca de este lado venir a apoyar a...
Gracias, muchas gracias, señor. And Edison's saying that it's brilliant playing football in Britain. Obviously, he plays for Manchester United. It's a very special place, a very special league, and it's a special night for him to come and see Chris Namos, a fellow Uruguayan, fight tonight. Thank you, gracias.
That is frankly magnificent work from Gareth A. Davis.
And it really was absolutely fantastic work from yourself, Gav. Look, Gav, I'm super impressed with you anyway. Obviously, look, as a big sort of boxing fan and MMA fan coming up, I always had a lot of admiration for you. I didn't know you had Spanish in your locker. I didn't. Every time we're on the show and you do like a Canelo, I just thought, okay, he's okay, what's he doing? I didn't know you actually could speak it. Impressive. That was really impressive, Gav, I have to say.
No, I didn't know. I'd heard the broadcast back, and thank God I got the translation right. But yeah, no, I do speak Spanish, and I will surprise you with some other languages as we go on together in our careers, Addy. But it was great fun, and you know what? I mean, that man again is a legend in football, isn't he? He's one of the great skillful footballers, and you know, he didn't really want to speak because I think he was a bit embarrassed to speak English. But once I started speaking Spanish, he opened up, so it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, absolutely fantastically well done, Gav. All right, you're listening to Find Extra on TalkSport 2 with DAZN. Remember, stream boxing anytime, anywhere with DAZN.com. Still to come, we are going to talk about Lawrence Okoli and Josh Taylor, world title fights for them this weekend. But up next, we are going to hear from Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., both of them who want a shot at Kell Brook now.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the EFL.
The Premier League is bigger and better than ever. Don't miss any of this season's action on TalkSport 2 with Now. Saturday is game day, featuring TalkSport's most full-on football dedicated schedule ever. From all the build-up to live commentary and post-match reaction. It's your non-stop one-shot Premier League destination. Game day on TalkSport with a Now Sports membership. Stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Life is complicated. Hastings Direct Car Insurance is simple. Relationships are messy and complex and full on. Hastings Direct Car Insurance is simple. Finding your way is hard. But Hastings Direct Car Insurance is simple. Great cover, great price, and a great app that makes insurance that much simpler to get, check, and change. Hastings Direct. Simplicity is the best policy.
At Kia, we believe movement inspires ideas. Take the all-new Kia Sportage. Our sporty SUV with a striking new exterior and advanced interior creates the space to get inspired. Available to order now with hybrid electric technology. And you get £500 towards your PCP deposit and 3.9% APR representative when you order by the 31st of March. Search Kia Sportage. Kia. Movement that inspires. 3.9% APR representative, Kia Finance.
At Crown Trade, we ask painters and decorators to share their personal thoughts on the important stuff, like what the most awkward room to decorate is.
For me, it's the downstairs loo. I'm not a small man. Kitchens.
Conservatories.
What are you painting them for? They're glass.
I mean the fiddly bits that aren't glass.
It seems there's only one thing that our decorators can agree on, and that's their choice of trade paint.
Gotta be Crown.
Crown?
Aye, Crown.
Find out why 98% of painters and decorators who use Crown Trade say there's no better paint. Visit crowntrade.co.uk. It's not just paint, it's personal. Findings based on 200 professional decorators.
Date night, a night full of possibility. But the big question is, what's for dinner? Takeaway won't cut it. You need something that shows you care. Like really care. I'm thinking 30-day matured ranch steaks, crisp, chunky chips, raspberry and cream cheesecake, a bottle of Chilean Merlot. I'm thinking Tesco finest dinner for two. Yep, that's dinner sorted. Food love stories. Brought to you by Tesco. Drinkaware 18 plus, majority of larger stores. Steak excludes Northern Ireland.
Nipping out to get bin bags.
We've got some.
Well, I better take the dog out.
We don't have a dog.
Okay. The Double Big Mac is back at McDonald's.
Right, get the keys.
The Double Big Mac is here for a limited time. Don't miss it. Served after 11 a.m, subject to availability at participating restaurants until the 15th of March.
This is TalkSport 2. On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker.
This is Fight Night Extra on TalkSport 2.
Started well, but then Brooks started just landing his shots, and he started letting them go. Found a home for every single shot he threw. So you got to say credit to Khan for staying up and not going down and really going out on his shield. If you want to talk about going out on your shield, watch this fight and watch how Khan, took it. But you could see Khan slowing down later on towards the fight. You could see the Brooks shots were having a toll on him, and shout out to Brook, done an unbelievable job. But I'm just sitting here licking my lips, thinking. I want that fight. That's all I keep thinking.
Conor Benn there did an absolutely fantastic job on comms as well for TalkSport on the weekend, obviously covering it with the boys Gareth A. Davis, Adam Catchell and Andy Clark, who already supreme commentator Andy Clark there. This is Fight Night Extra on TalkSport 2. Myself, Andy Oladipo, joined by the great Gareth A. Davis, the voice there of Conor Benn. Look, wants to fight. It's weird. There's that triangle, isn't there? I mean, we saw Chris Eubank Jr. fight Liam Williams. Who called him out after? Conor Benn saying, look, we can, let's make this fight happen. Kell Brook fights. Conor Benn wants him. Chris Eubank wants Kell Brook. Something's going to happen here, isn't it, Gav? Like somehow, some way, someone's going to fight each other in this triangle, I believe.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it was funny, actually. I was teasing Conor because, before Khan and Brook fought, as we were building up to the fight itself at 10:30 p.m. on Saturday night, Conor was there, and you know what Conor's like. He's a bundle of incredible energies, kind of all male. He's just all testosterone.
Yes.
Listen, he's a beautiful young man. He really is a beautiful human being, and but he's just bristling all the time with desire and verve to fight everybody. And I said, you know what, I think you probably beat Khan and Brook at this stage. And then after the fight, when he was saying he wants to fight Brook, I said, you know what, I don't think you beat Brook at the moment. He really did. I've changed my mind. But you know what, I mean, if you're asking me, I don't think. Here's my honest opinion is I don't know if we've discussed this on the show before, but Conor Benn is not ready for Chris Eubank for a start.
No chance.
And a jump up 2 weight divisions. Yes, to have a Ben Eubank 3 would be amazing after their two fathers had 2 incredible grudge fights and were absolutely amazing household names, back in the 90s. But I think what I could see that fight happening later in Eubank's career and maybe a bit later in Conor's career. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure I want to see. I know what is going on behind the scenes, and that is I think they are looking at a Chris Eubank fight, boxer and Sky, with Kell Brook, and I'm uncomfortable with it, Addy. Let me be honest about this, right? I'm uncomfortable with Kell, who had fractured orbital sockets, stepping up against Gennady Golovkin 6 years ago. It's 6 years ago, when he put up a brilliant fight for 2 or 3 rounds, and then got bested by one of the great punchers in the modern era, and one of the greats in my view of the modern era, Gennady, and I love the guy. I've got a lot of love in me today, but that's probably because I'm getting a lot of love. But the thing is, I'm uncomfortable with that as a matchup because I don't see Kel look great against Amir, who didn't have a lot left, but there were moments in the fight where Kel looked vulnerable as well, by the way, and we're forgetting that. And I think it's 2 weights too far to step up right now, too late in a career. And I don't think it should happen, but unfortunately, I think it will. And I think it's wrong. Conor Benn against Kell Brook. Again, I think Conor's young, tensile strength, his youth, his speed would probably do for Kell as well. So I really hope that both Amir Khan, I don't think he will fight again, and Kell Brook, even though he's going to be offered a couple of million, I imagine, to fight again, and he probably will take it. I know Kell's mum and dad, Terry and Julie, pretty well. I just hope they persuade him not to take it, but I fear that he will.
Yeah, look, fantastic summary there. Just because you've got to weigh it up. I mean, I'm a big fan of Kell Brook. I've loved him for many years, since he won the vacant British title against Barry Jones, like way back. But you've got to look at who he fought in the ring on Saturday night. I mean, as much as it was a good performance, he fought a shell of Amir Khan. That was Amir Khan's shadow. It really was. And Amir Khan's not been anything since 2013-14, really. So you've got to weigh that up. And Conor Benn spoken about going to 150. Maybe that's kind of fair, really, but I really don't want to see Eubank. But I can see it happening, both with Boxer. There'll be a lot of money, as you say. It'll go on pay-per-view. It could sell an arena. It could do a stadium in Sheffield. It's a big fight. And I can understand Kell. He's got the itch back. He might look at that performance and think, there is one more in me. They don't like each other. I can see it happening. I really can. Let's hear from Chris Eubank Jr., who spoke about it as well. And he said, look, he's not ruling out a fight between himself and Conor Benn.
It's another very interesting matchup for the fans to talk about and debate and ponder over. Will it happen anytime soon? I don't think so. But listen, if Logan Paul can fight Floyd Mayweather, then maybe it isn't such a crazy thing.
Eubank 3 can happen.
It really could.
Absolutely.
It really could.
Yeah, that was Chris Eubank Jr. speaking about Conor Benn. Very unlikely. Obviously, that was pretty much off the back of his fight against Liam Williams. With regards to Chris Eubank Jr. versus Kell Brook, again, you know what goes on behind the scenes here. They will be talking about it. Do you think, heart of hearts, that Kell is going to have one more?
I do. When you put it so well, Addy, before we heard from Chris Eubank Jr. there, I mean, that was me sitting with him in the arena, and I got a very strong sense from him that it's happening. It was just something coming off him, that he was watching Kell Brook. He was delighted that Kell had won. He said he and Kell don't get on. There we go, bing bang bosh. We got a little explosion there at a press conference. Then trash talking. I think he'll take the fight. I hope he doesn't, and I hope I'm writing retirement stories and we're talking about their glorious careers in the next few weeks. But no, I don't think Kell will take some time, and I think that fight will be made in the summer. I think Boxer and Sky are looking at creating a lot of domestic grudge fights, as many as they can create, because they're also looking at Billy Joe Saunders, by the way, for Chris Eubank Jr. as well. And I'd rather see Chris Eubank Jr. fight Billy Joe Saunders at super middle, if they have to make it at super middle. It's another fight that will generate a lot of publicity. Both men know how to play the heel. And I think that's the fight I'd rather see. And it wouldn't surprise me to see Chris Eubank Jr., even though he's pursuing world title glory, Ed, going Kell Brook next. And if he wins against Kell Brook, which I fully expect him to do, with respect to Kell there as well, then fight Billy Joe Saunders and then fight for a world title. And they'll try and get Gennady Golovkin over here.
Yeah, look, I tweeted that, Chris, chased the 160 champions, but I fully understand as a risk reward thing, you'll look at the risk and think there's not much in fighting Kell. I mean, look, Kell's still a good fighter, and Kell, potentially could outbox him, because Kell's a better boxer, I think. He is, not I think, he is a better boxer than Chris Eubank Jr. And I'll look at the reward and think, wait a minute, I can make more fighting Kell than maybe I can fighting a Charlo or an Andrade, or maybe even a Golovkin. There's more money on the table potentially. So I can understand why Chris wants that fight. And look, If Chris wants it, and if Kel wants it, and the public wants it, then 9 times out of 10, it probably will happen. All right, you're listening to Find Out Extra on TalkSport 2. When we come back, 2 world title fights to talk about. We're going to talk about Lawrence Okoli fighting on a Sunday at the O2 Arena. But first, we're talking about Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall in Scotland.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the EFL.
Every day, TalkSport 2 probes the sharpest minds in the business, bringing you all the big-name news, views and opinions that matter. Plus, TalkSport 2's official betting partner, 888 Sport, is on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need to crack the big betting puzzles of the day. TalkSport 2.